The cards speak. Justice listens. Welcome to the unseen. Truth doesn't hide forever, not from the eyes that see. Spirits stir, clues awaken. Let the seeing begin. Behind every crime, a shadow speaks. I'm Lady Zelda. Welcome to Seeing Crime. Hello, my darlings. Hello. I couldn't wait to be here with you. Wait a minute. Yes, my microphone is on. Yes, everything is good. And hello, I couldn't wait to be here. And I just thought yesterday, okay, I can't wait to be here. And then all of a sudden, I thought, well, wait a minute. We have to do something like hello. So that's why we're here. Welcome, welcome to Seeing Crime and some paranormal. I am Lady Zelda Kelly, and I am your hostess with the mostest, but we won't tell what I have most of. So glad that you're here, my darlings. It is Saturday, July 19th. July 19th. July 19th. 1 month ago today. Yes, hair already. 1 month ago today, Karen Reed is now freed. And I don't know, I have to ask you this, and this sounds horrible. Do any of you miss that? I mean, I do. And welcome to each and every one. And let me see if I can do it. Yes, there we go. Bigger hugs. Love you. I kind of miss it. Wait a minute. I got a hair that's wanting to be wild. And I got to tell you this. Talk about spooky. Hold on. We got to get it together here. Okay, I think so. Yesterday I was working here, and all of a sudden, because I'm sitting at the desk that I work at, I'm on the computer that I'm working on, and all of a sudden, it's the second time it happened, I see this little spider come right down here in front of my screen. A wee little one dropping from a web. And I'm thinking, okay, forget him. So anyway, the energy has been weird. We are now officially into Mercury retrograde. That's right. Mercury is here. And you know what? Charlotte is right. Thank you, Patty. Mercury is working overtime because I like this Mercury. And yes, it's been a little funky. It was funky for me yesterday. But this Mercury retrograde is going to bring out all of the shite. And you know what I mean. And it has been. Take a look at the world over the last week. Just take a look. Hello. Things are going down. So I am waiting for Miss Attorney Melanie Little to get back with me because we want to get on here and talk about Annabelle. Because for those of you who do not know, Ms. Melanie is very empathic. She's got it going on. And that's why she's attracted to us. Thank you so much for being here and for your being top shelf. All of you, top shelf. For being here because I love it. I love it. And yes, I know you're asking about the rice jar. Mercury's not going to hurt it a bit. You might catch a vampire or two outside, uh, counting all your little granules of rice, but leave it out. It's going to be fine. It's a little naughty, as Jen says, a little naughty. But you know what? We've lived through them before. We're going to live on this one. Now, I want to thank True Oracle for being here. Bless you, and thank you to all of you. Mrs. Marie, I saw is in the chat. Hello. Bravo. I want to thank my beautiful mods, Captain Jerry and beautiful AD, are both in the chat today, and we're raring to go. Now, I got a few little announcements to make. First of all, my darlings, tomorrow, mark it on your calendars for those of you who are members of True Oracle. And if you're not yet, you may want to jump over there because we're simulcasting right now with True Oracle. Because people are so generous in giving memberships, I'm doing a membership live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's American New York time. I'm going to be reading your cards. And we've done it before, and we had a lot of fun. Although I was out the Sunday before, because I just got to say, I had a little ear infection that kind of went from one ear to the other. But I'm okay. I'm on the mend. Everything is good. I probably should have, as in, worked it out before. And it's all wonderful. So I'm here, and everything is fine, and all is good. Hello. Things started over here. Whoa. Where are we? Let me get this going here. There. I'm simulcasting somewhere else. Okay, so I want to thank each and every one of you so much for everything you do. Let me get back on track. All right. And I've got to fix, you see this up here? I got to fix that. Otherwise, I'm going to be distracted. Well, let me see. Watch this. I may disappear for a minute because this thing is touchy. Oh, see? Hello? You see what I mean? Hello? Do you remember that horror movie where there was a girl that it was the talking head? Dana Andrews was in it, and her head was sitting on a table. That was one of the early ones in the 60s, and it scared me. So thank you there for that moment. Okay, my darlings, here we go. The second thing that I want to share with you is, it's not so good news, but okay, we can live with this. I can live with it. The last 2 lives that I had, I lost my ad revenue. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to ask all of you, please, because I really don't want to lose any more. Please be careful of what you put in the chat. Mentioning these words, sensitive topics. And what's been happening is everybody is semi-okay in the chat, but afterward, people are coming in after and putting these restricted words in comments like, well, I couldn't say this in the live, so I'm going to say it now. So with that being said, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm setting a goal. It is in the chat. I'm starting the goal. It is for 30 super chats. If we're going to ask the EVP questions tonight about Annabelle. If you have a question for the EVP, now, disclaimer, I am not contacting that doll. I am not contacting anything about that doll. No. Yeah, my darling. After the fact, they come into my comment section underneath this video, and if I cut the comments off, it hurts me. You know, because it's one of those things. Pardon me. So anyway, I got to make up a little bit. So goal is 30 chats tonight. And you're not obligated. But you get, thank you. I'm not pulling cards tonight. We're doing EVPs. We're doing EVPs tonight. So if you have a question, let us know, Zen Jen. Okay, my darling, and thank you so much. And then once I reach the goal, I'm going to do a members only live. I'm going to teach you paranormal. I'm going to teach you things about the paranormal that you may have never heard before. More than scary stories. So Zen Jen, do me a favor, my darling. Keep your question. When we get the EVP started, we'll take your question, okay? And thank you so much for your generosity. Bless you, bless you. Okay. Now I have one little more thing to say. And I think, thank you. Oh, Diane, thank you. You guys are wonderful. Look at you. I have one more little thing to say. And I think many of you may agree with me. And hello to each and every one of you coming in. Please do me a favor and like and subscribe. I'm going to say it this way. My darling, and oh, somebody just asked me for my Venmo. Let me get that up there too. Venmos count. Venmos really count, my darling, because you know, the Tubi does take a thing out, and that's okay. It's okay. Because you got to pay to do something. That's the way I look at it. You got to pay to do on here. So, hello, Ellen. Thank you so much for being a new member. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. You guys are wonderful. Does today, 19, start the beginning of a cleansing full moon and ending? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Get those rice jars out there. So I have two more little announcements. I'm going to hurry and get these out. Okay. So, first of all, I want to say a little something to our sweetheart friend, Aussie Insider. I love her. And I know you guys do too. She apologized today. And I understand to a certain degree. But Miss Aussie, if you are hearing this or if you see this, I want you to know that we love you. That's your channel. Don't you forget it. I know you are golden. You are so good-hearted. You would give the shirt off of your back to anyone. But that's your channel. And we support you. You don't have to apologize for anything. You are adorable and wonderful. And that's what makes the world go around. Nobody is going to like everybody. Okay? Nobody is going to like everybody. No reason to apologize. You got our support. And you know what, my darling? I know what you said. But if you would ever like to interview anyone, I will be glad to volunteer. If you would like to interview me, I would love to come on your show. And you know what? You are always welcome here in this studio because I got something to tell you, my darling. Ain't nobody gonna mess with you here. I guarantee that. They will respect you. You are fantastic. We love you. You can see it. You can look in the chat and see how many love you and support you, and we get it. And at the end of the day, there's a little song that says, pick yourself up, wipe yourself off, and start all over again. Can't sing tonight, but I wanted to try for you. You got this. Don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything hold you back. Push forward, my darling. And you're going to be okay. I know you will. I know. I get it. So there, my darling, we love you and we welcome you. Now, one last little thing, my darlings. I don't know what you say. I don't know how to say it. A creative consultant. I gave you 2 links to follow and subscribe. And people come to me for scary stories and all this other stuff. I don't have time to do all that. I am more than welcome to talk to you, tell you stories whenever I can. But I have one more I want you to think about. And if you'll do us a favor, I put the link in the description of Fate and Fortune and in this description here. If you like vampire lore, yes, I know about vampires. And can I say they are real? I believe that they are. If you like vampire lore, if you like vampire stuff, see the link in the description of both Fate and Fortune and this channel. Subscribe. Go in there. It's a shorts channel. They're quick. And they just started and are doing so great. So if you could support, because I'm all about, look, I'm a little guy too. We all have to start somewhere. And 10,000 sounds like a lot. It does to me. I never thought I'd have 10,000. I have more than 10,000 followers. But I've got to tell you, it's a grind on here now. There are so many people. And you know what? There's room for everybody. But you got to be unique. And these vampires, this is good and more coming out. So I love that I can ask all of you and depend all of you because it doesn't cost anything except just to click subscribe and maybe watch a couple. Bravo. And if you like it, please keep watching. That's what it's all about. Okay, my darlings. Now that I got all that over with and you guys are so wonderful, Dorian Vex. That's right. The Midnight Vampire. And I'm going to tell you something. He's ruined me. He's handsome. Yes, it's an animated channel, but woofy. Hello. I told Mrs. Marie, I'm like, whoa. He is everything that I would think that a handsome, sophisticated vampire should look like, other than Barnabas Collins. If you like Barnabas Collins, kind of gives me that vibe, a good guy, but hello. It's an excellent channel and it's a lot of fun and it's going to even be more fun. So there we go. All right. Bless you. And thanks to each and every one of you for going over there. Thank you. I love Bill from True Blood too. Hello. And I was so happy when Bill and, oh my gosh, I can't even think of what her name, got married, but they're still married and they have children. Oh my heck. I loved him. That's the kind of vampire that I like. But there are many bloodlines of vampires. Many. Many, many. So there we go, my darlings. I liked Eric too. Yes, Suki. That's what her name is, Suki. Yes. Hello and good evening, everyone. And I want to say a few. I just keep Green-Eyed Southern Girl in your prayers. She was in the hospital for a few days, but she's okay. She's out, and she got stung by a wasp and had a bad reaction. Never been stung before. Woof. So, yeah, but she's okay now. And she said, do you have any? She's on an EpiPen. And I told her, she said, oh my gosh, any good words? And I said, yes, the pen now is mightier than the sword. Go get him, girl, and put her on the mend. Oh my goodness, bless her heart. She is just golden and such a foundation here. And I tell you, I've been stung before, and that stuff ain't fun. Bless her. And I love dark shadows. Listen, if you want to watch I wish I could find somewhere where we wouldn't get copyright strike because, every platform does. But if not, I would be on here with you guys. We would be binging Dark Shadows from the beginning, the black and white, where Victoria Winters shows up on the train in Collinsport. And I got to tell you, you guys are going to think that I'm a nut. Well, maybe. You guys are going to think this. Dark Shadows during the season of the 1700s. Okay, are you ready for this? I loved Ben. I loved that actor. I love the actor, Thayer David. It's actually not his real name. His name is David Thayer, but he went by Thayer David. And all of those characters that he played, and when he played the professor, I'm like, yeah, I like the smart ones. Yeah, I like that. So, hello. There we go. There you go, Susie Q. There you go. Okay, so just a little reminder. Please be cautious in the chat. And let's just be sweet. Okay. Now, all right. So I'm going to give you a little backstory because there's some people that I'm seeing over here. And when you see me looking over here, I am in StreamYard and your chat. In fact, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to put you all on stage. How's that? There you go. So for those of you who are watching on TV, iPad, wherever, you're going to see the chat coming up. Okay, my darlings, a little backstory of Annabelle. Annabelle, now listen, I've been around 100 years. And for those who don't know, my grandmother was a huge psychic back in the day and was called to many places to come and get a vibe. See, it used to be that back in the day, just like in the Amityville horror thing, okay? Ed and Lorraine were there at the Amityville house. Well, they visited a few places in Ohio. And once my grandmother was called in. Now, it wasn't paranormal investigation back then. It was a psychic vibe. See, back then, and I was a little turd, a littler turd back then. You had kind of two things. You had your fortune tellers, and then you had your psychics. And your psychics kind of grew up in that, how do I want to say? You got the vibe. It was more like a mediumship vibe, the psychic. Ed and Lorraine Warren. My grandmother's nickname was Sass. My grandfather called her that for the rest of her life. the rest of his life till he passed away. But Lorraine Warren called her that, and called her that sass because my grandmother didn't take no guff off nobody. She didn't. Ooh. And one day I'll tell you about the investigation that I went on with her when I was little. My grandpa and, hold on a minute here. My grandpa and my grandmother went to the Cleveland, Ohio castle. And these people were faking some things and charging people $5 to come in. And they made a mistake. Now, this was back in the 60s. 1960s, not 1860s, I know. But 1960s, there was a time when you would go out. If somebody called you, they didn't expect payment, and you shouldn't expect payment. You just went out. Hello. That's just what you did. So the reality, my darlings, is that as soon as my grandparents walked in, this woman is standing there with her hand out. And she says, "Oh, well, you came here. It's $5 per person. And you're two, it's $2.50 per kid." Oh. My grandfather just stood there and holding the hands of my sister and I, because I was scared. And I wasn't scared of the house. I was scared because you could see these little brat kids up on the second floor running, and you could tell they were doing things. And my grandmother lit that woman. Oh my gosh. She lit her up. Called her out. Woo! Yes. Hello. So anyway, back in the day in the 1970s, and I remember all of this when it came about, there was, I think it was a young woman who I believe was a nurse or nursing student who lived in an apartment with her friend. And someone gifted her this Raggedy Ann doll. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Side. I never liked Raggedy Ann or Raggedy Andy dolls. I think they're creepy. And quite frankly, there is a reason why in doll making, the Amish, yes, the Amish, do not put faces on their dolls when they make them. They make rag dolls, but they don't put faces on their dolls. So there were things around this doll that started happening. And it started freaking these two young ladies out. One thing led to another. And Woofy, this doll started moving energy, doing all kinds of things. And now my mother and grandmother made sock monkeys out of a man's work sock. Do y'all remember those? I could hack a sock monkey, but I've got a sock monkey here who is haunted. And I've had to keep that darn thing locked up. And that is no kidding. A little side trip. I'm going to tell you about the sock monkey, and then we'll get back to this Annabelle energy. The sock monkey that I got was gifted to me by an ex about 2 months before I just started to cut and run, because he was a scoundrel. And it was for, supposedly, allegedly, my cats. Well, when I first moved here and moved in with my son, it was right before the thing that happened in 2020, not going to mention it. So I had it, and I was playing with the cats. And my big Riley, you've seen him, hefty tugboat little boy, but just as lovable as all can be, was sitting on the floor. And I'm not kidding you. I saw that doll. I was sitting across the room. I saw that doll roll over, nothing around. My cat and the cats were like, "Don't give us that thing, Mommy." This doll rolled over and had this little sock arm that like flopped toward my cat. And Riley, I have never seen Riley do that. Riley was like, that thing that kitties do. That looked kind of hideous, sorry. But this, thing. And he was looking at that and looking at me, and I'm like, oh, and of course me, oh, heck no. I get out my holy oil. I'm salting this thing down, whatever, and I grab it and I put it taped on a shelf. Because with these things, you have to be careful, because you just can't take this stuff out and burn it. Because if you do, you release that energy out. And it's like releasing something out of a container that smells, and you smell it for days. It's like having a skunk around your house, and you never see the skunk, but you sure do know he's there because he's got a little perfume. Well, it's kind of like that, only this stuff lingers. You have to take you just can't toss it, burn it, bury it, do whatever. You got to figure out how that came about. So I had this doll taped on a shelf, doing research, going about my own business. At night, I would come out and I would look around, nothing, nobody, blah. Go back into my bedroom. Hello, nothing around. I came out the third morning and that doll was on the floor, untaped. Tape off of it. And I looked at that doll and I said, okay, pal, you ain't doing this. We're sending your energy back to where you came from. So I cleared the doll, and the doll is fine, but I have it secured in a box. He's not going to get out ever. But that energy went right back to the ex. Because sometimes that stuff happens. Fast forward to today's date, and I'm going to say, what has happened with Annabelle. Whoever manufactured the doll Annabelle probably put some intentions into it. And if it were factory made, it could have been somebody who lost a family member. It could have been somebody it could have been anybody. But there's bad intentions in that doll, baby. To the point where you're not supposed to touch it. You're not supposed to. I don't look at it. I don't even look at the pictures. I don't want to. When they showed it. Now, I knew who Dan Rivera was, and he knew who I was, but we never got to meet. I was supposed to go up to the New England Psychic Research, or New England Society for Psychic Research. But that's when January of 2020 or 21, something like that, right in the heat of that stuff. And I couldn't go. And that was the same time that I was supposed to go out and visit Zach and Ghost Adventures and all that and visit them. That got called off. We couldn't go. I'm glad I didn't go there, because even Zach had a very bad experience. He, Dan, somebody took that doll and went out to the Zach's museum in Las Vegas. Now, I want to go to that museum, but I can tell you one thing. I will not be looking into Bela Lugosi's mirror, and I will not be going into that doll room, because I was told that one person that went there, I wasn't even around, and they were saying my name. So can you imagine if I went there? Hello. So Zach is very empathic, and it's because he's in this constantly. And the more you do it, the more empathic you are. And he was overcome. I do not know. Zach is not a fraud. I disagree with you. I've known him. Okay, so Zach touched him, and that guy went ballistic. Took the doll, took her home, wanted Zach to pay for his flight. I mean, it was a big to-do. And I just got to say this. Why the heck would you take that doll out of that box? Lorraine Warren, before she passed away, made him promise this guy and the people there at the museum, that doll would never be taken. Not only is it taken out, but it was in Texas right before the floods happened. It was in New Orleans, and 10 prisoners escaped, and a building burned down. And I don't know if you heard this, but last Saturday night while we were live and I was talking about how they had her in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and the 911 system failed. That was Saturday night, and Dan passed away Sunday. And I got to tell you, I feel something more happened there. Something more happened. But I also want you to know that sometimes these entities are so flippin' strong that they can help arrange things. They can move people and places and things. I don't want to even think about them. That type of thing. I have a haunted necklace here. I have a haunted necklace, a haunted handkerchief, all this other woofy. That stuff is bad enough, and I have it. And it's bad haunted. I've had it since early 1990s or mid 1990s. They need to get their butts back, lock her up, because there was a certain way that Lorraine and Ed Warren put her in that cabinet. And there's the death card on the outside arrow. There's all kinds of things. Yeah, Rose, that's right. Yeah. And I just think that this stuff is too dangerous, even in this environment that we live in. Now, there's something else that I want to talk to you about too. And this is before all of this ever happened. For anyone who lives in Wyoming, the other night we were talking about how the cows in Texas knew something was up. They were going to higher ground 4 days before those floods hit. 4 days before the floods hit, the cows were going on higher ground. It's only 4 miles away. And they were doing their thing. Now, I want to tell you this. I want you to know Watch Wyoming, because the animals are all starting to come into the big cities and taking over these big cities. They don't do that unless there's something about to go down. And there's an active volcano in Wyoming, I'm just going to say. They are very in tune with vibration, frequency. They know. It's just like cows. And yes, I love cows. I haven't met a cow that I didn't like. And no, I don't. So, just like cows, if you want to know when it's raining, go to your local farm and watch the cows. Because the cows will start laying down in the field 24 hours before rain. Guarantee it happens every time. And I'm going to tell you, you will not fail by watching the cows. If there's a certain wind coming up, they will all stand in a way where they're either headed into the wind or away from the wind, depending upon how it is. They can tell you when tornadoes are coming. They can tell you all these things, animals in general. No. So I'm just going to say, watch Wyoming. If I were living in Wyoming and these animals were coming into the cities, coming in to the more busy area, and because these animals are wild and they're walking around in the streets of the cities, they're not confused. There's something going on. So I just want to let you know. Back to Annabelle. So Annabelle, Dan Rivera, who was a curator who very big into the Society for Research in New England and Connecticut, they wanted to get a bigger museum and they wanted to raise money, so he decided to take Annabelle on tour. Despite of, against all better. Now I'm going to tell you, when you're in the paranormal field and you face demons and entities and black masses and all kinds of things, you sometimes get, you feel like you're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, right? And I get that. And he's a really nice man. But hello, he's got a wife and kids. And I'm going to tell you what, if he would have come to me and said, hey, Zell, you want to go on that, with me? I would have said, not only no, but no, I ain't going near that stuff. Hello. And I've had people say, oh, Zelda, but you're a psychic. You know all this stuff and you go into paranormal things and you get scared. I don't get scared. I'm pretty fearless. But I'm smarter than the average bear. And just because I can, I ain't going to stand in the same room with some evil devil energy that we don't know what put there and who is famous for causing fatal accidents of people who have been there to see her, causing all kinds of different mayhem. There was one person that took something from the museum, and boy, oh boy, they brought it back and asked for forgiveness. I'm not kidding. I don't know why. I got to tell you this. In my 150 years on this earth, I don't know for the life of me why people want to mess. Why do people want to mess with this stuff? I just don't understand. Listen, if I were a curator, there would be many other ways, in my opinion, and no shade on anybody, but it would be in my opinion that there would be other ways. It's a good question, 007 Texas. Good question. And I'm going to answer this right now. Good question. Sometimes you can't destroy evil, it's an energy. So the evil may leave the doll, but it may go into something else, including a person. And you have to be careful. It's just like my dumb little rag doll, my sock monkey. Yeah, Robert in Florida. Right. No. No. So there's not really much you can do about these dolls. When you have an evil intention land in a doll like that, I know demonologists that won't take this on because you don't know. It's an uncontrollable, uncontainable. Thank you very much, Ashley. Is even more dangerous. That's absolutely correct. Absolutely. Lady Zelda, don't you think the Holy Spirit protects you from all of this? Sure. If you're not dumb enough to go up there in front of the, here's the thing what the Holy Spirit wants you to do is use common sense. That's what it's all about. Common sense. Using common sense. The Holy Spirit does not want you. Got a little ringing in my ears. The Holy Spirit does protect us, but we are supposed to have enough gray matter. That's why they call the spirit is the intellect of the soul. We spiritually connect with the Holy Spirit, with the Holy Father. Yeah, it protects us. But when we take it upon ourselves and say, oh, okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to put myself and others at risk, your angel may decide, and your guide may decide to just sit down on the curb behind you and wait for you to come back. Because they're not dumb. Think of Christ in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. It was not let up. He was not let up by Satan. And after he was done, the angels had to minister with him. Why? It's because that stuff probably knows more about the spiritual realm and about the Word of God than we do. And will twist Scripture. That's why, I'm just going to say it, that's why you have to even be careful of the Bible that you buy. I have examples of Bibles here that Scripture is twisted, and it will cause you to believe in something else versus what really is written. Oh boy, heading into some tough territory there. But that's very true, because think of King James and the original King James 1610 Bible. He's got a blurb in the front of the King James Bible that says, look, we've done our best to translate this the best that we can. He had translators from all over the world come in and try to translate the Holy Bible so everybody could read it, not just the elite. And when you have to put a disclosure like that in front of it, because most people think, oh, well, I've got a Bible, I can believe it, because no, you can't. That's why the Word tells us that we need to study to show ourselves approved. Meaning, if we're going to study the Bible, we better just study the Bible and quit going over this face value stuff that somebody tells us and we go, oh, okay. When you study I'm going to tell you what, when you study the Word, it's like reading tomorrow's newspaper. Because when things are going to happen, and when things are not going to happen, and what happens before this happens, and what happens before that happens. You got to be careful because there are some, and I could name them, but I'm not going to get a defamation. But there are some Bible manufacturers who hire atheists to come in and help translate things and put some of these, because when it's easier to read, you get more sales. Pooey. Teach people how to read it. Teach people how to read. And the reason I read the King James Version is because it is the closest to the manuscripts that you could, the Greek, the Chaldee, all of that. They're closest to the manuscripts. And then sometimes you just don't know. So I'm coming down off my pulpit now. Thank you very much. But I thought I would say that. And thank you for that. Didn't mean to go through. Thank you. Terry, you're absolutely right. One word can throw you completely off. I'm going to tell you, when you are studying, that was a lot what was discussed in some of these courses, how we got the versions we did. Well, I'm going to tell you some of the belief systems now that we have in our churches that teach some of the beliefs that aren't true. I have to say that because they do. It's only since before the early 1900s that really started. My grandfather was a Methodist minister. And you know what he always told my dad and all of the kids? He could never teach on where you go after you pass away because it would scare the old people. The old people will stop coming to church because it scared them so bad. And that's not the way it's supposed to be. So there we go. When you teach, and I've seen, and believe me, I used to teach, not preach, but teach in some of these churches in Tennessee. There were a couple of times I weren't asked back by the elders. But I can tell you what, when I was teaching there, the churches were filled. And it's because when you teach the true word of God, you should not have to beg, have rallies, have this, have that to get your membership. Not that people gravitate to the truth because they need to hear it. They want to hear it. And the truth will set you free, remember? And there are a lot of misgiving, because you start teaching that there is no name of the rapture in the Bible. People go crazy because that's something that they want to believe in. It's not that Christ isn't going to come back. He's just not going to come back the way we are told he's coming back. So I want all of you who worry that one day that you're going to look around you and your loved ones are going to be poofed and gone and you're going to be left behind, that is a fairy tale. And maybe one of these days we'll get into it, members only. I'm a very, very strong believer. And when you get into this type of things and all of a sudden this truth starts ticking and you start thinking, holy moly, unbelievable what the lies that we've even been taught. This is why the clergy, the pulpit, goes to judgment first, because it is their job Regardless, it is their job to study. There you go. Yahweh. That's right. All that came from Annabelle. Thank you, Lord. There you are. Oh, my goodness. Keep your eyes on Israel. That's what I'm going to say. Keep your eyes on Israel, my darlings. Keep your eyes on Israel. Here we go. Here we go. First of all, I would like, look at this. All you have to do is say, Kirsten, my lovely little girl, thank you so much for the beautiful gift and for saying, sorry you lost your ad revenue. Thanks. And you know what? You are so welcome, but I owe you a bigger thanks for sending that through. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to go read some supers. How's that? Then we're going to do some EVPs. So hang in there. Let me keep track. Let me write this down. Okay. Zen Jen, my darling, I'm going to pull a card for you tomorrow. But thank you for your generosity today. Thank you. Thank you. No question. Just wanted to send love to you. Well, you know what? I'll take it. Thank you. Received. Thank you. And send in tenfold back to you, Diane Cat. I love that name. Thank you. Thank you. I'm writing everything down because, you know, we receive our goal and it's like, hello. Jen, thank you so much for your generosity, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. Then we've got a new member at Fate and Fortune, Ellen. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Patty, you darling. No question, just a reminder to subscribe and like. Well, thank you. If that was so heartfelt, I might even subscribe and like. Thank you so much. AKA, my darling, new member. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Ellen, thank you so much. You top shelf, you guys, just top shelf. Thank you so much for your generosity. Deborah, welcome as a new member, my darling. Welcome, welcome. Bless you. Welcome. Thank you so much for your generosity. And John, me best intentions are here tonight. Thank you, Zelda. Also, please explain the backstory of Annabelle. Blessings. I don't think I've gotten quite through with it, but you know, hello. Pull the reins on Zelda because she gets off on this other little thing. Thank you so much, my darling. Thank you. Boy, oh boy, you guys are just something else. I love this. Thank you. Thank you. M169 became a member. Thank you so much. Farrah the Sunset Cat. Look at that sweet kitty. Thank you. Thank you. Love, Fate, and Fortune. Thank you, Lady Zelda. Thank you, Lil Misfit. Bless you and welcome to be here. And welcome again, my darling, both on both sides. And then we have Martha. Martha, thank you so much for being here. And Kristen Marie, love the energy this channel brings. Thank you so much because I love what you bring to this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me do something here. I got to fix my lighting. I got to fix my lighting because it's looking a little weird, and it's because the sun is getting ready to go down. The sun is going down. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay. And Kristen, member for 1 month. Amen to that. Okay. And M169, $5 weird stuff is afoot. It sure is. A bear was spotted in township where I live in Cincinnati, Ohio last week. Listen, you got to be careful. And you know what? Because they get scared too. And you want to know the truth? It's the mothers that come first. It's the females. So if any of you ever ask, you can say that I'm like just like a female cow. It's the mothers that go first. Isn't that sweet? Thank you so much. Kristen, you have to be careful while playing with energy. You have no idea how powerful it is until it is unleashed. You are absolutely correct. Absolutely. The Goodmans, bless you. Thank you for being here. You're so adorable. Thank you for a Fate and Fortune membership and welcome to that person who has been elected to come forward. New member Melanie Lewis, bless you, my darling. Just because from Chris, you guys about ready to make me cry. Thank you so much. You're so adorable. Thank you. I want to thank you for always being here. This is my weekly date night. Well, you know what? It's my weekly date night with you guys too. And the fact that I've just chosen to be here with you, I love it. Thank you so much. I'll take it. I'll take the date, Roxy. I'll take the date. You guys, don't you just wish we had a great big barn that we, and I say barn because I just don't like the name hall, but we could have a big barn and have, wouldn't that be fun? Better have lots of eats, right? Carissa gifted 5 lady bless you. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you, and welcome to those 5 people. And Bonnie Lee, can't wait for you and Melanie, 2 beautiful ladies. Listen, Melanie is top shelf. I've always felt a connection to Miss Melanie. Let me lighten up here a minute. Let there be light. She's a wonderful person. I just love her. I love her. I can't wait for her to be on here too. I emailed her. Oh my goodness. I emailed her, pardon me, immediately after she was saying, Zelda, where are you with this Annabelle doll? And she said, I told you I'd come on anytime, but I know that she's busy and pardon me, she has the turtle on tonight with her right now. So we'll get it. We'll get one day. We're going to do it because I know she's got some stories to tell about the Stanley Hotel. And I mean, pardon me. What better person? I apologize. I didn't mean to do that in the microphone. A little misfit just saying, hi, y'all. Well, hi, y'all back, my darling. Thank you. And Patty McDaniel, kisses for the kitties, and they're sending kisses to you. They're chilling out right now. They've had flea medicine today, and it just kind of like makes them chill. But Shaggy is in watching kitty TV. And he knows. He is the smartest little turd. I'll say, come on, Shag, let's go in here. He goes in my bedroom and he sits on my end table, like, and looking at the TV, waiting for me to put it on. Smart as a whip. Pardon me. Jen, the crazy cat lady, I love you. Thank you so much. I'm a novice in all this, but you got me hooked. So I just want to learn more. Well, I love you back, Jen, and thank you so much for being here. You guys are wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to see what else is cooking here. The Stanley Hotel is, pardon me, pardon me. The Stanley Hotel is the one where The Shining was filmed, and it is in Colorado. Colorado. That's right. I was thinking that Turtle Boy's on tonight at 7. Maybe he's on tomorrow. I don't know. Somebody let us know. As soon as Melanie, I've emailed her. As soon as she gets back to me and says, I don't care. Whenever she says go, we go. I'm here for her. So, but we'll give you enough advance notice that you can see. So, okay. Let me see, Chris. There's a lot of places. And I got to tell you, oh, Melanie with Turtle Boys tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I don't even know what day it is. Let me see. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. I got to tell you this. That came out. I can't remember what year that came out. that was another thing that we would go around the house, and my poor mother, red rum, red rum. My poor mother. Real tea. Now listen, my darling. I did get your email, but I was a little under the weather. And this lady and I are going to go on too. We've got to get together because I know she has more of a schedule than I am. I'm a little bit more flexible. So we will do that, my darling. We will do that. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you. You can stay there year round. I didn't know you could stay there year round. I didn't know. I thought they closed down. More gifted memberships. I know. I love it. Yes, and Jen, she talked about yes. And so she's a wonder. I got to tell you. And then I've got to get with the Calling All Beings family, DJ and Boston Bia, and basically say it is time to get it together. We got to get on here together. So they were supposed to come on last Thursday, as you know, and then we said, oh, no, they had an opportunity to bring Turtle Boy on, so that was good. And so they did that, but we are going to be doing that. And I want to thank Mariana Wood. Thank you so much for your generosity to help for the loss of revenue. Well, you guys are just so, listen, you guys are just so cool. You are so cool. Let me see here. I got somebody else, I think. Okay. All righty. There we go. There we are. Thank you. Thank you again. You guys are awesome. Nurse Kimberly from the Sunflower State. And look at those puppy lips. Oh, $4.99. Thank you so much. And I got to write this down from Kirsten and from my other sweetheart, Mariana, here. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to your favorite grifter psychic. Yeah, 1980, The Shining. Yes, that was something else. Absolutely. Let me see here. Let me see. Liz, bless you, my darling. I'm writing this down. This is my weekly, I can't make myself fold all the laundry, so I'm stalling contribution. Well, good girl. You didn't have to make a contribution. You could just say, look, I give you permission, my queen, to not fold laundry when we are on. Thank you so much. That's so cute. Watching this is the best distraction. Thank you. Well, thank you. And you are more than welcome. Bonnie Leah, thank you so much for your generosity and your gifted membership. Wow. You guys. Oh, there's our girl. Hi. Hi. You want to come on for a minute? If you're not busy, I'll send you a link. We're just talking about you. You must have psychic stuff going. Because we're going to do some EVPs, and we're not going to be, no way am I going to be contacting Annabelle Energy, but if you want to come on and say hello, let me know, and I'll send you a link. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much for everything. All right. See, she's a sweetheart. They are. I love them. I just love them. I'm so glad you're here. Under Mariana Wood. Gotcha. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. So, what do you think it's time to do? What do you think? I think it's time for me to take a drink. All right. So here we go, my darlings. Okay. Well, let me address this question here. Let me address this. Okay, my darling. What happened to you and microdots? Nothing. We're still very much going to go. He is very busy, as you can probably imagine. You know how much that Turtle Busy and Karen and her team. So I got to tell you, I am just waiting real well. I've got some things I'm waiting on. He's got some things that he's waiting on. So we're just going to kind of give it a. It's definitely on the shelf. Definitely on the shelf. Richie he's my vibe. So believe me, and I know he's yours too. We're definitely going to do that. We're definitely going to do that. So there we go. Okay. Amber, Zelda, thank you for all you do. Well, you know what? Thank you for being here. That's why I do it. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Richie is phenomenal. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can you talk more about auras and the color meaning? Sometime I will. I'm going to tell you this, though. If you'd like to see your own aura, and I think I was telling you this the last time, let me make a little demonstration here for you. Let me give you a little demonstration. Who was that? Rocky and Bullwinkle? Nothing up my sleeve. Okay, here is a white piece of paper. You need a white. Oh, hello. You need a white piece of paper, and you want to hold your fingers like this up against the white piece of paper, and you have to do the squinty thing. Okay, you have to do the little squinty thing. And you'll keep doing that until you see the colors between your fingers will reflect on the white. And that will tell you, my darlings, what color is in your aura. And if you have good colors like pink and blue and, just good rainbowy colors, you're good. All is good. I'm crashing you and Richie's party. Listen, I'll tell you what, I'm ready to crash his party, but he's busy, so that's the good thing. Maybe sense of stability of your endeavors. The cards are also urging you to aware potential hidden truth or motive that could lead to unexpected events. Apply that how you will. Oh, okay. Well, awesome. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to tell you something about me. There's always an open door. There's always opportunity. And there's always growth. And it's because I want it. And that way I have a choice. So there's always something coming my way. Pardon me for making that noise. Okay, so here we go. Gilly, you darling. I love you, Auntie Zelda. I love you back, Gilly, you little sweetheart. Thank you. Misbehavior wouldn't be anything taken out, but thank you, my darling. Let me see. Thank you so much, my darling, for your generosity. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, YouTube does take out, but you know what? You have to pay to live somewhere, right? And if I didn't do that, maybe soon, my darling, why don't you email me so you can be put on the list, okay? Email me so you put on the list. So there you go. Okay, so let's get ready, my darlings. And I have a new email address, and Miss Jerry has it. Now, the other thing I do want to share with you is this. I don't like the exchange of emails in the chat. I understand everybody likes to, I get it, because you want to, but I have been getting security alerts and all kinds of stuff to my email. And it's just better to wait. Just don't do it as much as you want to, because wow, you just don't want to be hacked. I got my picture taken and it was supposed to show my aura. There was a white spot and they said it was a spirit there with me. Well, I don't know. I'd have to see it, but most likely that happens. Most likely. Okay, my darlings, here we go. Let me get set up. Go get your little, send me a link. I'd love to jump on. Okay. I'm going to send it over to your, I'll send it on, I'll DM it to you, my darling. I'm going to DM it to you. You guys, we have a guest coming on. Don't you just love it? Isn't there a song, Don't You Just Love It? Well, I just do love it. Let me get this. Let me get this. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. There we go. There you are, my darling. It's in your DM. So you just come on when you can. I love it. I love it. Isn't this fun and exciting? When you can come on and just have fun, and our creators are like, we're just like a family. I'm going to tell you what, I would have never had the opportunity to meet any one of you because I'm kind of a homebody and I work all the time. And wow, this is awesome. Yes, the moon in Leo and Mercury retrograde in Leo and then goes into Virgo. Very earthy at the end. You'll be grounded. I just love it. So, yes. Bless you, buddy. That's my big buddy. Bless you. That's Riley. He's my man. Riley. He's my man. So, yes, to all of you, my new email, seeingcrime@gmail.com. And don't forget to click the link in the description for the Midnight Vampire, who is Dorian Vex. Hello, Dorian. Come through my window. Just a minute. There's some man rubbing on the side of my computer. So while we're waiting for our sweet Boston Bear to come over, we'll see, honey. We'll see. But yes, Dorian, if you're really Dorian out there, now I know Atule and I know Santino, but Dorian. Hello, Dorian. You guys have got to go over and see Dorian Vex. They animated him. I'm going to tell you what. Now listen. If he ever thought about a cougar, but wait a minute, if he's a vampire, he's got to be way older than me, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about me being a cougar. So there we go. We're going to wait a minute for our sweet Boston Bear to come on. I did send you the link, sweetheart, if you are watching. It's in your DM. And hey, we got to have fun here. We got to have fun. The Angel Rock with Lorelei. Oh, I love this. Yeah, I caught you, love. Start staging, beginning, and I will get caught up. Hugs, gratitude, and much love from Canada. The Germans in my family would say, okay, darling, take your time. Take your time. Take your time. The Germans in my family would be talking sometimes so fast, they have that it's that very thick accent, it's, these variacs, and they would just be talking, and they would talk about Canada because there's a lot of German community in Canada, and they would say Canada, and I would just get so tickled. Canada, yes, hello, where is Canada? So let me see. I'm checking things, checking it twice. All is good. I love it. And Jerry's birthday is going to be in a few days. So we're definitely going to be singing to her. Hello. I love it. I've never heard it pronounced that way. I love it. Canadida. I know. I love that too. I was just like, hello, Canadida. And since we're talking about that, to all my Germans, wie geht's, my darlings? Wie geht's du? Was ist los? Willkommen. Ich liebe dich. Ich bin eine Kattentante. Lady Zelda von Gortlitz. There we are. Where is the link for my... I have no idea. Let me see. Let me put them at the bottoms. Let's see. Hello. Let me call you sweetheart. Let me see here we are. Not required, always appreciated. It is in the show notes, but there it is scrolling on your there. Listen, there is my darling Candy. And hello, Mike. And I want you to know they have a wonderful manifestation story that is out of this world. Out of this world. And give me a second here. We're going to say thank you to James, darling. Let me write this down. And we have somebody waiting in the wings. There's some, oops, hello. Yes, Bull in a China Shop Zelda will be right there. And thank you so much, James, for your generosity. And may I present to each and every one of you this young lady who stops traffic wherever she goes because she's that awesome. Here we are, my darling. I'm adding to the stage. It's beautiful.
Hey.
Hi. Let me take off these comments so we can see. Look at the cab t-shirt. Hello.
Yes.
Not
yes.
so dedicated. I love it. Welcome to the
Welcome.
show.
I have no makeup. I was in the shower when I was listening to you. I said, I have to hurry up. And I just got my shirt on. And then I went downstairs to get my headset, left half of it downstairs. So I ran back. So I'm like, oh my God, now no makeup and I'm sweating. But
that's okay. I think you look absolutely adorable and fantastic. Thank you for coming on. This is such a treat.
Problem.
The official one is going to be soon. As soon as we can get together.
Yes.
I did get DJ's message. Yes. So as soon as, we're just like kids in a candy shop right now. We just want everybody on. So yes. Thank you so much for being here. Problem. I love it. Thank you so much. Well, how are things with you? Tell us what's going on with you.
So, no, we're thinking obviously with Karen Reed, partially being over the big, the big scary, monster, should we say, is over. So now we're just focused on what's coming up next, what cases to cover. What direction we want to go on. I'm very interested in the Brian Walsh case. I think that's like the ultimate betrayal, right? Somebody who you married, somebody who had kids with, for them to do that, I'm like, wow, that's a tough one.
Scary. Yes,
but then you add the Norfolk County DA's office, Proctor, and them being able to, the fact that there was no conspiracy there, right? So you have a case where a husband, unfortunately, unalives his wife, does all these suspicious Google searches, but then the MSP had no reason to then be lazy, right? Like they could have gotten search warrants to, beyond the scope of what his attorney allowed. And so why didn't they? So is this lazy police work? Like, that's the only thing I can think of, because it was nobody they needed to cover up for. I think they did get the right person, but
Yes,
why did they need to skip steps in order to do things properly? Cross your I's, dot your T's. They're eventually, when their investigation's over, it goes over to the DA. So why not do things by the book? Because you had the right person, you have the right person, but now because you cut corners and got lazy, now this man may walk after. I mean, I can't imagine a husband taking a wife's life. Like, that's just
I
the
know.
ultimate, you know, betrayal.
You're
So
so right.
that's kind of like, I think that's the case that piques my interest, especially with all the connections to the Karen Reed case, in the same DA's office. I mean, we have many counties here in Massachusetts, but this shoddy police work seems to be coming out of that office. And I mean, it's a big state, could be more, but this is just what's being highlighted at this time.
Well,
Sorry, that was a mouthful.
no, 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 no. We want to hear. We want to hear because we all agree. And I just think it's appalling. And I think about this myself. I think, is it laziness or is it just habit? Is
Right,
it just a habit that everybody comes in? Oh, here it is. Whatever. They don't have to. They. It's almost as though they are directed as to say, oh, well, that one's guilty. This one isn't. That
right,
one's guilty. Just do whatever. Just do whatever you need to. The only thing that I could think of that would come out of this if Walsh walks is the fact that this will garner so much attention. And think of all of the people that have been incarcerated by
right,
these people that are there wrongly, wrong,
right,
that have been
right,
in, yeah, that's going to get some attention. And these people may walk. And the fact, too, now that we have public defenders that are just saying, we're not making enough money.
right.
Let's just get them going. Do you think that that is because they saw how much Hank Brennan made and the public defenders hardly make anything?
Right. I mean, that's it's I mean, it's crazy. Like, I get what you're saying, and this could potentially let people that are guilty back out in the streets, not having been rehabilitated, because ultimately that's what jail is supposed to be. It's supposed to be rehabilitation to make the person, really turn their life around. But to think that people may go free because of actual ones that deserve to be in there because of
Mhm.
this shoddy investigations and, shoddy police work and them taking corners, like, that's scary too, right? I
It's
mean,
very scary. It's very scary. And I'm thinking about the ones, though, but I'm thinking of all the Karens.
right. Yeah,
What about the
that's the thing.
Karens that
Yeah,
have been incarcerated
wrongfully, yes.
wrongfully? That have been, I mean, there's got to be something step into this state that says,
Right,
okay, we're going to wipe the slate clean and we're going to hold these people accountable for these shoddy investigations constantly.
right.
But there's another case, and I don't know if you've heard about it or not. If you think Massachusetts is bad, it is the Aaron Spencer case in Arkansas.
Yes. So that's the father that, yeah.
Yeah, that
That's,
unalived. Yes,
I mean,
yes,
how can, again, that seems justified. That he was
yes, it does.
chasing after the man who had, abducted his daughter. And I mean, that how can, and this guy had it wasn't, he had a history, right? She
Yes.
wasn't the first one. So yeah, that's another sad case. It breaks my heart. I mean, I think any father in those circumstances would just, I mean, do what they could to defend their child. Um,
Absolutely.
and in the fact that he's facing these charges, but he was able to save her. So I wonder, that's another sad one.
That is so
He saved
remarkable.
her life.
Yes, he
If
did.
he didn't notice that she wasn't, in her bedroom, and didn't have that, fatherly instinct to go after and knew exactly where his daughter was, to track her down and to get to her. I mean, the fact that she ran out of the car, obviously she didn't want to, she didn't want to be in that situation, and she ran. Um, so yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough
Well,
one.
it is tough, but I think the fact that if he didn't do it, she would have never returned home alive
Exactly.
because she
Exactly.
was supposed to testify against him.
Right.
And I think there was something more that he had planned there. It's just chilling to think.
Right. But I mean, he
Horrible.
was definitely justified in his actions. I don't know how they can even turn this around and make it like he's the bad guy. He saved his daughter, you
Well,
know.
think I I think there's a lot of political pull there, just like there is in Massachusetts, unfortunately.
Right.
And then, of course, we're never letting go of Sandra Birchmore. We're never
Right.
letting go of
No.
Enrique, or
Right.
these whole things. What and I got to tell you, you guys and many people around, and especially the law tubers, are raising awareness
Yes.
of what's going on in these communities. It should have been a long time ago. And I think, quite frankly, that the public opinion means a lot, the court of a
Right.
public opinion. And I believe that that is what helped free Karen,
Right.
is the
Right.
fact that there was a lot of that going on as well. Lots of different
Absolutely.
things.
I
Mm-mm.
remember speaking to I was at a standout for Enrique Delgado Garcia, and I was actually the only person that was able to translate because the media showed up, and his aunts just don't speak good English, so I was able to translate
Oh,
for
yeah,
them.
you
And
did.
so his aunt was telling me how she went up to the Mass State Police and was at the training facility and was talking to the head guy and the that runs the facility, and she was like, how did you let this happen? How could you let this happen? And he was like, oh, I wasn't in the building, I was in Framingham. So and he literally just turned around and walked away from her, when like turned her back, which is very insulting. I mean, especially in the Spanish community, like that's the ultimate insult. Like you're talking to somebody and then they turn around and walk away, and he wanted nothing to do with any of her questioning. And the last we've heard is that there was a grand jury out. The city where he worked in Worcester,
Mhm.
they were conflicted out, so they turned it over. So hopefully we hear something soon. These things take time, and they usually say it's
Yeah, they
about a
do.
year. This happened, I believe it was September, October-ish. It was the fall of, because he went in the academy in April, and it was a 6 month. So the graduation was in October. That I'm pretty certain of. But this was just literally 3 weeks before graduation, 2 to 3 weeks before. And yeah, very very sad situation. We had a standout, and I literally saw pictures of him in the condition he was in before he passed, from his aunt that showed me. And when I tell you, it's an image you never get out of your head. Very sad.
Was it like a John O'Keefe image? Sort of,
Yes,
kind of?
basically, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So
I'm so glad that you were there. I mean, that's so
yeah, they
heartbreaking.
initially came to us. We had first we had a Norfolk County DA's office standout, and we welcomed, obviously as part of all these cases, they were welcomed, and they were kind of standing off to the side, and they didn't speak English, so I went over, introduced myself, and got to talking with the uncle, the aunt, the mother and sister and nephew came later on. I think they're being kind of told, like, don't talk about this, you need to stay away, like don't be public. And that's why his case, even though it's gotten attention, it hasn't gotten the attention it could, because the family's kind of staying away. So very sad situation. The mom told me,
It's
after
horrible.
he passed, she was going through his stuff, and he used to donate to animal shelters that she didn't even know he did. Just things about him that she started to learn after he was gone. Just kind of cleaning up his room and going through his stuff. And this, what a loss to the community. That he would have been a great state trooper, and very, very sad.
It's horrible. It's
Yep.
horrible, but I'm so glad that you were there. And now I've got a $1 million question for you, and I know a general consensus of some in the community. I know what I feel, but I want to ask you, do you think that our three alphabet friends are done? What do you think? What's your take on
So
that?
my take on it is, so the way I break it down in my head, right? Like, so the FBI hired ARCA. We think it's upwards of 500,000 that they spent. Then turn around and hand the defense 3,074 pages of exculpatory information before trial one. Why would they do that? To just say, you know what, Karen didn't do it and that's it? I think this is part of a bigger case, maybe like a RICO situation where they're investigating the Norfolk County DA's office because they were able to get, Matthew Farwell for Sandra Birchmore. So I think while they may not be able to prove that, they know it wasn't Karen. So that's the only
Right,
reason they said, in Josh Levy said, in good conscience, I can't let this go to trial. And, obviously the FBI can't stop the state,
right.
proceedings. So they handed them information both to the prosecution and defense, which Laura McLaughlin is Melanie Little likes to say.
Right?
Um, she just said, "Oh no, there's no information." So the FBI was able, I mean, the defense was able to get Proctor's text from that dump. They were able to get ARCA, which, I mean, those two things just really laid out the whole conspiracy for them. And so, do I think the FBI is so? I don't think they're done, but I also don't like, I don't think they were investigating John O'Keefe and Karen Reed. I think this was part of a bigger investigation to the Norfolk County DA's office. So I think in my heart of heart, I don't think they're done. And I don't think they announced their exit, or, you know what I mean? So there was a letter that went out on January 18th saying that they were still investigating. Within 2 weeks, all of a sudden, Helena Rafferty and Hank Brennan start saying that the FBI is done. Well, why would they let the people so Hank, even though he's a special prosecutor, he's part of the Norfolk County DA's office special prosecutor that they hired. So why would the FBI call Hank and say, "Oh, we're done. We're done. We're going to just, all is good. You continue." Why would they announce the very people that they're investigating? Why would they say, "Hey, we're done"? I just don't think that adds up, especially after that letter on January 18th. We're talking within weeks. All of a sudden, Hank is saying it's done, and Helena Rafferty is doing sticky notes. Like, no, I don't think they're
I agree.
done.
I agree. I saw the letter. I didn't know what day it was. I was thinking it was the 24th, 18th, whatever. I think it was
Right.
the 18th. And I've got to tell you, it was so clear because that's when he was asking for information as to what
Right.
they had. And they said, no, we can't give it to you right now because we're still investigating. Now, doesn't that, I mean, that right there should go, who are they still investigating that they won't
Exactly.
give the information about?
Right.
Hmm,
Hmm.
because they just don't send out invitations and letters to say, "Oh, by the way," and I've worked with enough of them to know that they can sit back and hibernate and watch
Right.
as things go on.
Right.
I don't think they're done.
There's
I
been
don't think they were.
FBI agents that say that, you can have a case closed by 9 o'clock and reopened by 4 o'clock. I
That's
mean,
right.
they're not, in this, that's why they have such a success rate, because they don't just jump at the minute that they get information. They don't jump to prosecute people or indict people, or, they have, the way they operate is that they have a great success rate of convictions,
Hmm.
more than state cases. So I do believe that they're probably still monitoring everything around the Karen Reed case and others, because I don't think
Right.
this didn't begin and end with Karen Reed. There was a bigger investigation happening. In that, again, that's
I
just my
agree.
opinion. I can't say that I know much. I think before Karen Reed, I never thought police could be this corrupt, like that they would ever purposely put a citizen that they're supposed to serve and protect in a situation that, that this would ever happen. Like, this is my state. I'm proud to live in Massachusetts, but I have to
Right.
say, I'm a little embarrassed since Karen Reed that this all this corruption has been brought to light. I found out about Just en route. Again, it's police abusing their powers and, not giving people, their citizens, the help they need, and just resorting to deadly force. I found out about Just en route and then Sandra Birchmore, and it's embarrassing, and I know it's not isolated to Massachusetts. I know corruption is everywhere, but I just always expected better, and I never thought to question, that those are the people that, if something bad happens, that's who you call. You call
You
911.
depend on that.
You
Right.
depend on them. So to me, it was just such a, like, a awkward, like, reality check that, there is bad people in the world, but you just don't expect it from your police department and the people that took an oath to serve and protect. And that's what's scary to me.
It is me too.
And again, I know it's not isolated to Massachusetts. I know this is everywhere. This has been happening for decades, but, just never having thought to question it, to have it just, and the way that the first case was laid out, like, how can anybody watch case number one and not think this poor woman was innocent? Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, the news was only covering a small, I mean, I was always into mainstream media. I would put on, I wake up every morning, put the news on. I don't even bother anymore. I don't care what the news has to say, because
Don't
I
either.
know that they're not telling the truth. And the only ones that I found was that were actually talking about what we needed to hear was YouTube and the law
Right.
tubers
Right.
and the YouTubers. And I have not, since over the past 2 years, I don't watch local TV anymore. I don't have an interest in
I don't
hearing
either.
anything they have to say, because, they're being paid to, a 30-second information is not what we get with YouTube, that we can talk to attorneys. Hey, what do you think about this document, this filing, all the things. It's yeah, it's just, I have to just say, it's opened up my eyes. I never thought I'd get
Yes.
into activism. And, coming on YouTube for me was more like, I just wanted to help spread the word. And if I could help, if I can just tell whatever I could tell, I just, that's how I started. I never intended to be on YouTube. I didn't want to be on YouTube. I mean, I don't like the sound of my own voice. I don't even play back my, my own, the shows that I'm on, that I co-host on. I don't even
Right.
listen to myself.
Right.
But I know that when I'm coming, and I'm typically more shy, like, I'm not a good public speaker, but somehow I'm able to, this feels like a Zoom call to me. And that is something I do regularly for work. So
Good.
to me, I'm like, if I'm confident in the facts that I have, because I've watched the trial, I've recapped it, I've watched trial one, trial two. I'm constantly just learning and listening to people digest different cases. And yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that I'm more aware than I ever was. And, I just want justice for the victims. And that's really what it comes down to. And if I can help facilitate that in any way, I'll keep showing up.
Well, bless you. That's exactly how I feel because, what really made me sick was in the first trial, the mainstream media spun this in a way, along with court TV, I have to tell you, and
Right.
I do
Mhm.
not respect, pardon me, just a minute, enough over here. Sorry. Like
That's okay.
kids, it's the four-legged ones.
Yep.
Um, they spun it in a way that they did not want to have anybody think that there was a presumption of innocence, but a
Right.
presumption of guilt. And they grabbed onto this other things. And then after the second getting people on and putting them on like a little forum and I'm thinking, is this for views? Because
Right.
it's not for truth. And so that was sickening. But I can tell you what, I have not watched regular TV in years. I watch YouTube, Turner
Yep.
Classic Movies, hello,
Yep.
YouTube, and I watch my shows on either Netflix or, I watch The
Yep.
Gilded Age and, all those shows. But as far as getting my news from any local, no
Yep.
thanks.
I mean,
No
even
thanks.
here, just like simple things like, they would say we have a storm coming and it's going to be, like the news puts you in a panic that, you're running to the grocery store because you think, after it snows for a few hours that you can't leave
Right,
your house. Like the massive panic that they cause sometimes. I'm like, it's okay. Like the plows are going to come. They're going to clear the streets. We can get out. Like this isn't, but that they all they do is that they hyper focus on the same story over and over again till you're like, oh my god, I gotta run out and get my bread, my milk, my really, I can go out after the storm. Like, so that's what I
right,
didn't like about mainstream media is that they take the one subject and they get you into a panic mode. But when it comes to the Karen Reed case, now you hear that on Channel 5 one of their attorneys, there's a connection to the McAlberts, and it's like, and then they have like a certain direction that they're steering the news. So it's like, is that really fair? You know what I mean? Like we're out here just telling you these are the facts of the case.
right.
We're not, you know what I mean? Like it just
Let everybody make up their own mind. That's how
exactly.
I like it. I mean,
Yeah,
when I first learned of this case, I mean, I was on YouTube a little bit just doing card readings. Didn't do much of anything, never went live. And then the lady that owns the psychic line, she's probably in here, Mrs. Marie, has True Oracle, said, Zelda, I think you need to do some readings on some of these crime things because this is getting, and I kept seeing the Karen Reed case and I heard it long before this. And then there was one hearing and it was just this quick, flashy news
yeah,
thing that I saw her coming off the courthouse steps with her law team. And the moment that I looked at her and I said, that's not a killer. I better
right.
do this. I better do this. And it was June, I believe, May or June of last year when I started. And I have over 450 videos on Karen
Wow.
alone.
That's
And it's because and you know how that case was.
right.
Every day, something new, somebody filing this, a motion here, a motion there. What's this one? What's that one?
Right.
And it's like, my gosh, are cases normally like that? No, they're not, except when you
Right.
have a special prosecutor
Mhm.
that wants to make sure that they nail an innocent person.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the
I mean,
difference.
even, the pictures have come out that Caitlin Albert, Caitlin Albert? No, yeah, Caitlin Albert just got married last weekend.
Yes,
And you have pictures of the witness, Steve Nelson, the witness advocate at the wedding. Like,
I know.
how is this even like all these connections in this very strong family that has all these connections to people that are what is going on? Like
Crazy.
it's crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yes. Yes, crazy. It is just so listen, we're here with you guys. We're probably going to be talking about the Brian Walsh case. We're going to be
Yes.
watching. We're going to be Aaron Spencer,
Yes.
all of them, all of them.
Yes.
And it's very hard to keep up with them anyway,
It is.
especially when you work.
Right. No, I
you
hear
know,
you.
when you work, it's hard to keep up
I
with
work
everything.
and I always have an earbud in listening to Melanie Little, any
Oh yeah,
recaps, Peter Tragos. Like I can't, I just, I found myself that I can't even just not be listening to YouTube as I'm working because I don't know, because I've done it for the past 2 years through both trials. Like even after the trial one, I was still listening to recaps because there was so much information still coming out regarding the Karen Reed case and the second trial. And they started redoing all the they found Trooper Paul out there. The reconstruction part started right after trial one. They
yes,
started with, and then they hired Hank. Like there's just, it's like the case that just keeps giving, and it's so incredible. And I just hope that with her Karen's next the civil trial, like I just hope she can win this. I mean, they already have ARCA that says there was no car accident. So how is this a wrongful death? Because what, they're going to change their theory now? Like they
right.
have to stick with the same theory. And
That's right.
ARCA proved, the Department of Justice hired ARCA. And I bet you this time around, they're not going to be able to hide the Department of Justice in the
Well,
civil
they can't.
case because you
That's
can get
right.
more discovery.
That's
So
absolutely
how are
right.
they going to overcome the fact that they're suing her for wrongful death when Arca, who was hired by the Department of Justice, said
That's right.
he wasn't hit by a car? So I just, wow.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
yeah.
I
So I
think
think there's still going to be a lot to cover. And the Brian Walsh is going to be we're waiting now on the motion to suppress, if it's going to, go move or not. And hopefully this, I don't want him to be used as an example for a guilty man to be let free to now put the spotlight. I'd hope to see justice for Anna Walsh, because
I
I
do
think she
too.
deserves it. I
Yes, she
don't think
does.
anybody should. That, to me, I've thought about it, and I know I already said it, but just that's the ultimate betrayal. Somebody who you shared your life with, for them to do that to you, like that is the ultimate betrayal for me. This
It
isn't
is.
just a crime of somebody snapped, and I mean, obviously he snapped and did this, but somebody who you loved and share a life with and had children with, like how can you do this? Like, oh. So I just hope that she gets the justice she deserves, and
I
her
hope so
family and her
too.
children deserve it. And not because once you take out all this information about where he was at his mom's house throwing out, they have him specific to dumpsters within the complex of where he, in all the Google searches, and him at Home Depot and
Oh,
buying
it's
a rug.
horrible.
I mean, it's just, if they take that out because there is no body, this man may walk. So I just hope she gets the justice she deserves,
I hope
because
so too.
as much as, I mean, I don't want him to be made an example. This case should not be the one that,
No,
oh, we're going to let him walk to make an example, and just to,
that'd be
no,
horrible.
no, they could have, this is total laziness on the police part, because
They
they
do.
did have, I mean, usually when there is somebody, a husband that takes unalives the wife, or the wife, or a husband and wife situation, they usually do look to the husband as the
Yes.
number one suspect. So there was probably probable cause there for them to get the proper warrants, to get the proper information to make their case. So ultimately, I think they have the right person, but the way they went about it, cutting corners,
There's just no leadership.
right.
That's what does if there's just absolutely no leadership there, and in such an injustice is crazy. So I don't know, but what about the dentist? What about the dentist and his
Right. Oh my gosh, that's another. Oh, I was
that is
watching that one.
another one. That is painful. I
That
mean,
is painful.
those poor people, it's just horrible. I mean, you think about this and there should be zero question about anything that's going on, and I'm sure that this dentist is gonna get his just desserts.
Right.
But just having to go through that, and it breaks my heart for the children.
Right.
It always does for the kids. It
And
just
all
breaks my
those
heart.
messages, I remember I was sitting with Melanie Little listening to her
Yes.
read all the text messages, how he
Yes.
seemed so caring. And then on the flip side, he had a side person that he was, making travel arrangements with. That is another sad case. Ah, that's a tough one too. I mean,
It
not
is.
tough in the sense that, again, why can't you? I mean, did you really think you were going to get away with it? Like, if you're unhappy in your marriage, get divorced, separate,
That's what I don't
leave the
understand.
person, let the person go.
That's
They
right.
deserve happiness too. If you're
That's
not
right.
happy, you know that it's common. People get divorced all the time.
Well, you
Like,
know why?
oh,
Because it's cheaper to keep her, and if she passes away, you supposedly, allegedly will reap be the grieving husband and can move
right.
on very, very quickly. That just is,
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
That
very
that whole that
unfortunate.
whole thing is disturbing. That
I
is
mean,
disturbing, bringing her drinks in the hospital that had that stuff in these drinks,
yes.
and it's like, "Oh my gosh. Wow."
Buying the stuff on Amazon, you thought they weren't gonna be able to track you? Like, nowadays, your everything you do on
Right.
Amazon, like, one of the
Right.
like, and you had to give, he had to give certain, one of the orders that he placed, he had to give information about his license. Like, did you not think that the cops are gonna figure it out? Like, who do you think they were gonna, like, I don't understand how this man
I
thought he
don't
was
get
gonna
it.
get away with it.
That's right.
An
I mean,
Amazon order that you can track, it's on your phone, like, very for somebody who is so educated, I don't know, very dumb, very dumb.
that is a horrible thing. But
Right.
anyway, I'm so
Yes.
glad you could come on, my
Oh, no
darling, with
problem. Well,
us.
thank
My
you for
goodness, this
having
is just
me.
so much fun. I don't wanna keep you if you have to go, but if you can
No,
stay,
no,
we
I
love
can
you.
stay. Yes,
Okay,
no
good.
problem.
Good, good. We just love having you. I mean,
Thank
that's the whole
you.
thing. We were talking about Annabelle.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I heard about that. Very scary.
It is. Were you ever at the museum or were you ever at that? See,
No.
I don't do that. I won't go.
Right.
I just won't go. And, that's just something I ain't gonna do. And we were talking about it. Of course, if you're listening in, you probably heard,
Right.
but this is just on the flip side of things, weird things as
Right.
well. Just
A very
weird,
strange
odd,
coincidence.
strange. Now, I feel, and when I read cards I did this video, when I read cards, it was a little on the weird side. The energy was very weird. I
Mm,
think there is something more attached to that, but because I don't believe in coincidences, and
right.
it could have been a staged coincidence. You know how that is.
Right.
Because unfortunately, there were people who were jealous.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It could be that he just had I mean, look at John O'Keefe. He had
Right.
a widowmaker nobody knew about.
Right.
So it could be that too. And the conditions could have just been right because, it was very stressful. He was doing have a big traveling. Who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just not into that. I can't follow these artifacts around. I have seen few. I can't follow them around because I don't think that that's worth it. I know what
Right.
happens when this energy follows people, and it
Right.
can follow. I mean,
Right.
there's just no but even now, if I see when I was watching some of the things, I would look at Dan, I would look at other people around. I will not even look at those pictures. I won't do it because it's just disturbing. The vibes come off of that. It's
Right.
extremely disturbing. So it's wild. So I don't know, my darling. There's going to be some things. There's going to be some
Yes.
things. Do you
Right.
want to hang around for a couple of
Oh, of
EVPs or do you
course,
have to
of
go?
course. No, I can stay, of course. No
Okay,
problem.
good. Well, if you have to buzz off,
No,
You
no
just
problem.
let
I'm
us
in no
know.
rush.
Okay, good, good, good. All right, my darlings, here we go. Now, don't worry because everybody is protected here. We don't worry about it. So, do me a favor and go get your little drinkies and your little snacks and teddy bears, whatever you want to get, because we are going to get this show on the road. And we have a guest here. And I love it that you're on, my dirt. Oh, my goodness, my darling. I'm just so happy. So, here we go. I'm going to bring, here we are. Oops, oops. We're going to bring this to the stage. My goodness, here we are. Now I've turned the, and I know I'm reflecting here. Give me a second. I've turned the, there we are. I've turned the sound off of this so it doesn't bother anybody. So what I would like to do tonight, my darlings, is this. I would like to ask about the energy of Annabelle. Can you tell us anything about, now we're not contacting the energy of Annabelle. I just want you to know that. And viewer discretion advised if this type of thing bothers you. It won't hurt my feelings if you have to say goodbye. You like, okay. All right, good. So I'm just going to put this little trigger warning up here for us right now. So, okay. We're just going to wait for you to tell us what's happening. You like, was this something, did you like Annabelle? Did you like what was going on? What happened? Tell us. It could be, please like and subscribe. That would be wonderful. But what do you think? We'll see here in a minute. Maybe I should turn the spirit box on, but this looks like it's pretty active tonight. Let me grab this to the side here. You can see all that energy happening. Let me get that in line. Quit messing with it, Zelda. And we'll see. We'll see. Secondly, I would like to thank Leanne for the Venmo. Bless you, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. And wonderful, wonderful message there with you. I can't really see it. And let me see. Christina Reynolds, bless you, my darling, for love you very much. Thank you. Allison, I think I thanked you. I thank you. Susan, thank you so much for the iced coffee. Thank you so much, my darling. Thank you. I think I'm caught up on everybody. So yes, Annabelle Blade. Now, Blade was a vampire, wasn't he? There you go. I don't know. Anyway, what about the Blade? Can you tell us? What about the Blade? Now, the energy seems a little off tonight, and I think a lot has to do with Mercury retrograde. I think a lot has to do with a lot of different things that are going on. And again, if you're in Wyoming, please make note of what is going on with the animal. Valuable. Please make note about the animal kingdom in Wyoming, please. What is valuable? I have a setup that I can do both tonight. I'm wondering, let's see. No, Shaggy. Here comes Shaggy walking through. Has to have the attention. I think he knows it. Has to have the intention. Act. What about act? Should I turn the, let's see here a minute. Does that bother anybody, the static? Let me see. I don't think anybody was trying to sell Annabelle, but I think they were going to use the proceeds, pardon me, they wanted to raise money for a new museum. And so that was the idea of the tour. However, she had some type of something in its wake the whole time. There was Gettysburg, the 911 system failed. There was New Orleans, 10 inmates and a building burning. Then there was the floods in Texas. There was something else that had happened before that. So it was, and the funny thing I've got to tell you is that last Saturday night, we were actually talking about Annabelle and how the 911 system had failed. And then Dan passed away the next day. So I just thought that was a little eerie. So the Warrens, I kind of lean toward the possessed part. About the Warrens said that she is possessed, and some people are saying that she is cursed. Some people are just not even saying anything. They say it's, it's an act of imagination and how that works. So we don't know, and that is Shaggy saying hello, if you did hear him. The original Shaggy, that's right. The original Shaggy, hello. The original, hold on, I've got, my phone is acting weird. Thank you. The original Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann doll. The one in the movie, I don't know, but when the manufacturer of Raggedy Ann found out that they were going to use that as in the movie, they said, you're not going to do that. We'll never sell another Raggedy Ann doll again. So that's how that happened. But definitely just the heavy that comes over here. Not real active tonight. We have been asking about John O'Keefe's energy, and it was just like word after word, sentences, names, all kinds of different things. The one in the movie was more scary looking. Yeah, she was really scary looking, the one in the movie. But you know what really gets me about this? Wild. Okay. It is wild. That what really gets me about it is that an object that looks so innocent can be so evil. On the outside, if this doll looked so creepy and devilish and bad, well, obviously you're going to stay away from that because of how it looks. But the fact that it is maybe not so creepy. Here we're coming with another word, glory. Wow. I was telling everyone in the chat, the Amish community, when they make dolls, don't put faces on their dolls. And it's for this reason. I can see that. We had, my sister and I had a Wendy doll and a couple of other dolls. I don't think that there was ever a Raggedy Ann doll or Raggedy Andy around. I don't think there was. But the Warrens were a very interesting couple, and especially after they went to the Amityville Horror House. And that's why I was saying a lot, too, that the house at 34 Fairview is going to be kind of that idealistic, because imagine all the people that go past there. I see things about it on X and YouTube, X and YouTube all the time about how people go there. People stand in their front yard, take pictures, table. What about the table? What table? Can you tell us Your name. What energy are we speaking to? What about your name? But Lorraine Warren, when she went to the Amityville Horror House, they caught a couple of pictures that were crazy. And the reality is, when those people that had that problem, when they bought the house and they just left and they got it cheap, they bought the house and the furniture and the beds. That the kids had this happen to them. They bought the whole thing. They didn't buy the mattresses, obviously. I saw crime scene photos, and you talk about it's horrible. It is literally horrible. And the fact that they would buy this house knowing that, well, bad. And the fact that it is, and 34 isn't that bad. But listen, this is not going to go away, I don't think. At 34 Fairview trait. What trait is there? But the fact that this is going to linger, and I'm going to tell you, if I were the people at 34 Fairview, the new owners, I would be mad. I would be mad.
But they seem to like the defense. So they've let Alan Jackson go in with their investigators. And I mean, they didn't have to do this, but I do commend them for allowing the defense to go in with their investigators and do some looking around. And yeah.
I love it. What do you think happened in that garage, those pictures of the garage? What do you think is in there? What do you think that attributes to? Is it anything? Is it a nothing burger? Is it just something?
I think in my just everything that I understand from the case, I think it happened very quickly. It happened in the basement, and potentially he could have been moved to the garage because we know that the Ford Edge went up, went to the flagpole. So I'm thinking maybe they kept him in the garage, and then from the garage they opened it up, put him in the back of the Ford Edge, and then moved it because again it's like an L shape to the flagpole. So that's what I believe. I believe it happened fast. We also know that, Sarah Levinson, which was a nurse, she hasn't gone back to work for years. So,
Yes.
And she was one of the younger girls that were in the house with Brian Jr. for celebrating his birthday. So, I mean, again, I think whatever happened fast, but based on the battery life, that the battery didn't drain so as quickly as it should have if the cell phone was outside. I think the garage had played a part of it.
Well, I think whatever happened, because I think last Saturday or the week before we were talking, and that was the Dr. Laposada's testimony about that head injury, that he would be gone within a 15-minute time. And, trying to move John, who was, 6'2", 216 pounds, would be literally dead weight. Right. If you're trying to carry him. Now, I don't know if I don't have the facts, but when I had the remote viewing with John on Christmas Eve, he told me all about it. It was an accident. They didn't plan on it. Let me say it that way. Right. And he was jumped. And he said afterward they laughed at him at first. Then he said they realized that he was injured. They had towels that they put on the back of his head. And then they laid him in a cold, dark place for a while.
Wow.
Then he said at one point he mentioned about being taken behind the house, through the bulkhead and behind the house and through. And when I saw that AJ did that, was
Yes.
counting off the
Yep.
steps, it made me think that okay, maybe they just beat the tar out of him,
Yep.
and then when they tried to move him, they had that accident happen because it seemed like it was fresh. It wasn't
Right.
something that had cauterized. Seemed like it was fresh. And with what Dr. LaPosada said, I don't know.
But, keep in mind, so you have an ATF agent who was previously, Brian Higgins was a Cambridge firefighter. What are firefighters trained to do? They're used to going into burning buildings,
Right.
taking bodies that, potentially may not be alive. So, and you have Brian Albert, who is also was in the military, who was a police officers. I mean, yes, to the normal person, maybe dead weight is a bigger deal, but to these trained professionals, don't you think they would have an easier time than your average person moving a body? You have an ex-firefighter, you have
You would think.
military, so I also think I think they would have had an easier time than the average person. And
Hmm.
no, I don't think that they lured him there to unalive him.
No, I don't think so.
I think they could have, if that was, if they wouldn't have brought him back to the house. They could have handled things right outside the waterfall. They have a big, I've been there. It's a big parking lot. They could have, had their, worked out, got into their little manly fight right outside of the waterfall. I don't think it was on, I don't think, I do strongly believe that they wouldn't have purposely brought him to that location to unalive him. I think that they just intended on, trying to
Rough him
show
up.
each other up. Yep, rough him up. You let him know who the tough one is. But definitely, yeah. And Brian Higgins was a tactical. I mean, no, these people they have training that your average person doesn't have.
But they were drunk too, right? Though
Exactly. And they have been drinking all day, driving back from New York City for coincidentally somebody else who had passed away. But yet some of these people didn't even go to John O'Keefe's wake and funeral. Like, wow.
I
You
know.
would for a stranger, but
Right.
not for somebody an acquaintance. Okay, I get that he wasn't your best friend, but an acquaintance, somebody you knew who he was.
Do
So.
we really know if they went to that funeral in New York?
No, I guess we technically don't have, I don't think any, well, I know no proof was, provided at any of the trials about it, but we just know that that's where they stated they were.
And they were drinking the whole time, the whole way there, the whole way back. The whole thing. I mean, there's going to be things that we never know.
Right.
Um, but I still am in the mindset that with the FBI coming in, and now with these charges for that, uh, the grand jury,
Yeah.
what's her name? Jessica Leslie, I think is her name.
Yes.
Um, they know the FBI is looking,
Right.
and this type of thing. I don't care what type of tough by Anthony. Who's Anthony?
Ooh.
I don't know what this the tough guy persona. When you get a spirit, or when your mind starts messing with you, it can break you. It can
Right.
break you into coming forward and saying, okay, I'm going to tell the story. And I know I'm responsible. So do, whatever.
Right.
And I think that that has a very, very high potential of happening. The last person I believe that is going to flip or do anything is Jennifer McCabe. She will be
Oh,
diehard,
yes.
hang on. She'll be the good old hanger on her. Look at this energy. She'll be that good old hanger on her.
I think
She
it's
will.
going to be the younger kids that were
I
in
think
that
so too.
house. That's where they're going to break, because this is something that, if they truly witness this, or even, maybe they weren't exactly in the same room witnessing this, but just the fact, I mean, the whole, Julie Nagel telling her brother to come pick her up and then changing her mind, that just doesn't add up. You don't, especially at the beginning of a snowstorm, you wouldn't have tell somebody like, "Hey, I want to go home," and then all of a sudden change your mind when they get there. That doesn't make sense. I think it's going to be the younger kids that they're not going to be able to live with the guilt. What
I think so
potentially
too.
and even okay, so say we even believe that.
Look at the bit. Did
Ooh,
Chloe bit?
ooh.
Chloe? Is this do we have Chloe in the house? Okay, I'm sorry, my
No,
darling.
that's
Go
okay.
ahead, go right
No,
ahead.
I was just going to mention that, don't forget that Brian Higgins said that he saw a tall, dark-haired man walk into the house. That he was around the area where the younger kids were. So even if the younger kids didn't witness what officially happened or technically happened with John O'Keefe, because maybe they took it downstairs to the basement, they still know that he was in the house and
They
they
do.
know that he passed away. So
They know.
even if they didn't witness it, like witness it actually, they know that it happened in that house. So I think the younger kids are the ones that are going to break, and
I think so
hopefully.
too. Because and especially when you think of it, Sarah is
Yeah.
a nurse. She had a duty,
Yes.
and maybe they put her in a very tough position. Maybe she knew that she couldn't help. Maybe they told her that they need. I mean, we don't know. It's all speculative, and I don't like to speculate.
Right.
But there's so much more to that, and I think you're absolutely right. Pardon me about that. But I was telling Jerry in here, who's my mod, when I was talking with her today, that I got a transcript of the 911 call of
Mm.
last week before, something like that. And I went through it with a fine tooth comb. And you can see there's one place in there where Jen says, and John got out of the car. And
Yes.
and then it was like Carrie stopped her. She was
Right.
stopped. And it's like she caught herself. And she
Yep.
kept saying, "Oh, he's dead. He's dead." Which,
Yeah.
but
That's
the 5:07 a.m. call tells it all, doesn't it?
it does. It
It did it
does.
for me. That did it. That was the heads up call as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That was the heads up. Yeah,
And there's no way, if the I mean, just the lights alone and the way the bedroom was situated, like in the listing photos, the bed was like kind of parallel to the window.
yeah,
There's no way you didn't hear those. A trained first responder, you know, is going to be more alert than the regular average person
that's
that's
right.
just sleeping. I mean, it's just, and you know
That's
what's
right.
crazy about Sarah? So I had gone to a standout on a Sunday, and after the standout, we decided we were going to go over to CF McCarthy's because their food is actually really good. And
Oh,
it was
really? Oh,
really
good.
like 10 minutes down the road. So a few of us from the standout went over, and who did we see at the bar but Sarah Levinson? And it was the day before testified on a Monday. And we were literally sitting 5 feet away from her. She was just like in a ponytail denim jacket. And it was just so
Oh,
surreal to
wow.
see her in the flesh, like, sitting right, like the way I was sitting, I was looking at her, and she had her back to me. She was sitting at the bar, and we were at these tables around the bar area. And when I tell you, the next day she testified, I'm like, oh my gosh. She was with
Wow.
a few friends, and she didn't, I mean, she looked like a regular young, early 20s, timid, just, I just hope if she's truly struggling the way it's been, said that she has because she hasn't been back to work and she's a nurse. I just hope that, the truth will set her free and that she can have
I hope so
she
too.
didn't do this. So all those people in that house, the younger generation that potentially could be struggling, I just hope the truth lets them free because
I do
they're
too.
not, that's no way to live.
That's absolutely right. Because when you think about it, the older ones, Jen, Matt, all of them, I can't say that they've been through this before, but they know
Right.
what what it takes to the
Yeah.
length
They're in
that they have to
protection
go.
mode, right?
They are
So,
in
yeah.
protection mode. It's all adrenaline right now.
Yeah.
And when things start, and I have to wonder, what's this Jessica know? Because I think there's more arrests coming. And
Right.
what does this Jessica know? And if I were Carrie, um, what's her face? I'm sorry to say, Carrie Roberts.
Hmm.
Well, word on the street is that Jennifer and all of them have dumped her because they
Right.
said she's too whiny. And so, well, her time is
Well,
done. They
right.
got from her what they needed. But if I were Carrie, knowing that I lied in front of a grand jury, and she's a
Right.
talker, thank you, Jerry.
She's a talker.
She's a talker. She's a talker. She's a talker. We need to go get a blowout for
Right.
her hair because she's a talker. Yeah, I love it. That's one thing that'll never come out. I will always say that. But anyway, this this is going to be, I mean, if I were Carrie Roberts' husband
Right.
and watched her on the stand that day and say, "Well, no, I didn't know that. I just knew that because that's what Jen told me."
Right. Right.
Secondhand trash. Or I didn't know that. That's what Jen, so that's why I testified in front of, I would be putting my foot down and say, "You're not going, these people could have gotten you arrested. You are not going to hang out with them anymore." And
Right.
now the DA's office dumps her because she's
Right.
calling the witness advocate too much. And now she gets dumped by the families, and she's back on low woman on the totem pole.
Right.
And if I were her, I would be shaking in my shoes, thinking, "Oh, cheat. See, there we go. Cheat." I
Mm.
would be I would be very concerned and nervous thinking, am I going to be next?
Right. Right.
And something is up because even I'm no attorney now, I've got to say this, but even Mark Betterow says, when do you know you're getting in trouble like this and you make a deal before the deal even comes out? That means
Right.
some, right? That means that there's something more coming down the pike.
Right.
That she knows something, and she probably got what they call a Castigar letter or the queen for the day, in which she was able to blow the whistle and sing like a canary, and all
Right.
she had to do was take this, whatever. I don't know.
I know. I just don't think that the FBI would go through all this expense and do all this investigation and help out the defense just to say, "Oh, we know she didn't do it, but our hands, we're good now." No, it just
I
doesn't
agree
happen
with
that
you.
way. I
I
just
agree with you. The FBI doesn't like to spend money. Wait a minute,
right,
there's someone walking through here. There's a person walking through. Get, go. No, no. Anyway, I'm sorry.
no,
There's someone here that he wants his little 10 seconds of fame. So anyway, they don't like to spend money like this.
no, no. They have budgets. They have, and yeah, they wouldn't just do this just to help out Karen. That's all I know.
No, that's right. And the fact of the matter is they spend this money and they recommend, Josh Levy recommends that there's not going to be any chart there. They would recommend not to take Karen factories. Okay. They would not to, they would recommend not to prosecute Karen. Wouldn't you think, if I were an FBI agent and the DA decides he wants to go ahead and do it anyway, wouldn't that raise an eyebrow?
Right.
That certainly would raise, I mean, it raised everybody's, but it would certainly raise an eyebrow to think, oh, why is that happening?
Right.
That's uh-uh.
And if you
Too
see all
much
the
weird
letters
things.
from Michael Morrissey to the DA, I'm sorry, to Josh Levy's office, to the DOJ, he was trying to get information to see what they knew, what angle their
Right.
investigation. I mean, this, yeah. I
The
mean,
whole hostage letter. It was Melanie Little that came up with the hostage letter thing. She coined that phrase. I loved it. But
yes,
when you watch that, you can see there's the desperation there for a
yes.
DA to come out and say, Quallen never did this. Quallen
It
was
was
never in the house. Quallen, you know, who is he to say? How does he know?
right.
Too weird.
They
Who's
just did do they just did too much to try to protect and try to say he wasn't in the house that it just makes it more obvious, I think, in my opinion.
well, I'll tell you what. The we've got I cannot wait to see what happens now because we see the letter from Mark Betterow and from Timothy Bradle coming out on Turtle
Yep,
Boy's case,
yep,
and how they're going to be demanding that this information, that judge is going to either have to shut this down and say, nope, never mind, I'm going to dismiss it, or he's going to have to follow the letter of the law and say, okay, here it is. I'm going to give it to you.
right.
I can't really, both ways are going to be really something else.
And did you
I don't
hear
know.
on Turtle Boy when they handed over? Remember how Cosgrove said that he had just handed um, Aiden's team all this almost 5,000 pages, and most of them, over 4,000 pages, are blank or redacted in his case. So, here he is saying, "Oh, we're giving you all this information that you're entitled to," and they don't really give him the information. So, Aiden's next hearing is August 13th. But he says the information they have, he's going to slowly roll it out because he has information to, um, a lot of information in
Oh, it's
all
going to be
these people.
damning.
Oh, it's going
Oh,
to be, yep,
it's going to be horrible. It's going to be
yep,
horrible. And this is that psychological warfare,
yep,
warfare that I've always talked about. You and I'll tell you what, the FBI are kings of that sort of thing, making you wonder to the point where it drives you crazy. What do they have? What's going on? What's happening? Because I can bet you they've got things on everybody. And the fact that I'm sure that they have a lot on Jennifer McCabe and
I'm
conversations
sure.
between her and uh, Morrissey.
Right,
I'm
right,
sure of that. Amazing.
right.
Amazing. It's crazy. Well, gag. That's right. There's a gag order, right? So, yeah, it makes me want to gag too, doesn't it? Yeah.
Seriously.
So, but I think this is going to get very interesting, and we're not going to see the end of this for quite some time.
Right. Right. I mean, that's why to me, when, after the first trial, it was like, it just became so apparent. Obviously, we knew that Karen was innocent, but it was like, how could this be happening to somebody like an innocent woman like this? Because we always, I know it gets said a lot, like any of us could be Karen Reed. She could be any
That's
of us.
right.
She could be our sisters, our cousins, our daughters. But the thing is, it's like, how, and then to go into a second trial, it's like, how can this happen to an innocent woman? And I'm like, the only thing that made sense in my mind was she was meant for greater things. Like she was, and look at all the corruption. And then now they get Turtle Boy on these, witness intimidation on her case. I mean, do you remember when he was, that Hank brought a hearing and then the defense, like, stormed in?
Oh
He
gosh.
tried in every way. Like, it's just so, I mean, I knew that Turtle Boy was going to help Karen in some way, but now it's like, so much is being uncovered about the investigators and this DA's office that, I think they were both just meant to uncover more than just John O'Keefe's, unaliving. This was part of a
This is
bigger,
much bigger.
much
Yeah,
bigger.
this is much bigger. And for me, even with Sandra Birchmore,
Yep.
I do not believe it's a coincidence that her unaliving took place during a snowstorm
Right.
and John O'Keefe was during, and I think it's because at that particular time they thought that they got away with it.
Right. Right.
So why not have that sort of thing happen again? And the last week we sat here and talked, maybe even the week before. And the one thing that has always got to me is who made the collective decision over John O'Keefe when he's laying there? Because think about it, when before they put him out on the grass, and think about it, because if he would have been conscious, he could have testified against all of these
Right.
people.
Right.
And that to me is quite scary, because at that point is when they made that conscious decision.
Right.
It may have been an accident at first, because I don't believe,
Yep.
I'm like with you, I do not believe any of that was going to happen, but wow.
Right. See, I think it was Jennifer McCabe who messed up their story. So I think initially they were going to put him out on the sidewalk. I'm sorry, on the lawn, because
Mhm.
there is no sidewalk in front of that house. So it's just a little curvature of the extension of the road and then lawn. So there isn't a sidewalk per se. I think they placed him there. I think they were going to just assume that he was walking down the road and got hit by a plow. But I think Jennifer McCabe saw an opportunity when Karen brought to her attention brought to her attention the tail light, which is why the story has got so crazy. Because
Yeah.
if the cop, I think the two, Brian and um, Albert and Brian Higgins, I think their story probably would have made more sense. But the reason was that it was Jen's story, and she doesn't have the
Yes.
background. And they went with her story because she is very convincing. We've heard
Oh
how
yeah.
convincing she can be. So I think that's why this whole thing fell apart, because the whole taillight piece didn't even make sense. So I think, and also we have heard that a call went out in the middle about 3:30 in the morning to the local DPW, which is the Department of Public Works, who handles the plowing, saying that there was a pedestrian hit. And then
Yes.
that was taken back. So I think the setup was that he started to walk home and that he got hit by a plow and ended up on the
Well,
side of the
Lucky.
road.
Yeah, I
Right.
think they
Poor
wanted to
Lucky.
nail Lucky. Yes.
And I
It's so
think,
funny because you're talking and this said window and
oh,
then seek. And it's so funny because I've always said I do not believe that Jen stood at the window to watch Karen drive away or to watch John come in, like she said. I
right,
believe it was to see if Karen was coming in. Because think about that. What
right,
would have happened if Karen would have gotten out, knocked on the door, and said, "Can I see John, please?" What would they have done? They probably would have said, "Well, he never came in the house.
right,
We don't know where he is."
right,
And Karen would have freaked out. She probably would have called the police. And do we think they would have done anything? No. But, this whole thing, each step, each lie that they
yep,
told has two or three little branches and twigs that are attached that it
absolutely.
could have gone any which way. Because I have always said, since I really found out the truth, what would have happened to Karen
I know.
if she would have gone in the house? And we know it was a setup because Jen told her at the waterfall, "Hey, you're going to ride with me.
Right. I have a surprise for you.
I have a
Yeah. What was
surprise
the
for you."
surprise?
I
Yeah.
think the surprise was going to be, "Oh, well, we're going to set Higgy in front of you and John, and we're going to let Higgy ask John, do you know what your girl is up to? Do you
Right.
know she's been texting me? Because, I
Yeah.
think I think it was high school because quite frankly, I think there's something because these were the popular kids in high school.
Right. Right.
And they're so used to it. It's kind of like this bad rerun of I know what you did last summer. Instead, it's
Yes.
I know what you did last winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that because I think that's really what they were going to either do was Jen was going to get Karen and probably drive around a bit
Yep.
and allow Higgy and everybody else to say to John, your girl ain't who you think she is.
Right. Right.
And then,
But what had Higgins so agitated that he would be trying to, square up at the bar? I've been to that bar, the waterfall. When I tell you it is so tiny, it looks so big on the camera because I think the camera zooms out. When I tell you I have stood where Karen was standing, I have stood where Higgins was standing, and when I tell you, we're talking, I don't know, like 14 feet away from each other. It's very, very small area. And when I tell you, there's no way that, he was this riled up and people didn't hear him. I mean, that's why Chris
oh, I
Albert kind
believe
of
it.
smacked him
Yeah.
down and Brian grabbed him. I mean, Higgins was agitated and you can
Yes.
visually see how agitated he was. Um, but it is scary. We have, on the show, hypothesized on, what would have happened if, and we also hypothesized, like, had she gone home, okay, so after she drops him off, she gets upset. She's like, I'm getting out of here. I need to use the ladies' room. I'm getting out of here, and goes back to John's. If she would have just passed out on the couch and never, woke up and wasn't looking for him, wasn't worried about him, because I think instinctually she felt like something was wrong. But let's
Yes.
just say she went and she passed out on the couch. She would have been the one getting the knock at the door saying John was found.
Right.
Like, that's another thing that we've thought about, that it's like, wow, she would have been. It just happened to be that she was the only one that was concerned about him. And her concern is what made her part of this
That's
conspiracy,
right.
and getting this whole thing blamed on her. Was her, because she was the
Horrible.
only one who was actually worried about him and his safety. But can you imagine how
Oh, it's horrible.
how different this would have been had she been the one getting the knock at the door saying, "We found John on the side of the road"?
Well, the sad part of it is, could you imagine how horrible this would have been? Excuse me, Shaggy. It would have been so horrible if they would have set up Lucky
I know,
because nobody would have come to Lucky's defense. There would not have been a Lucky Defense Fund.
right?
Lucky would be behind bars.
You would. And even though
Um,
his brother is on the
yeah,
Canton Select Board, I don't think, I mean, maybe they would have gotten him a small, he would have pleaded out, and it would have been not, not the charges that Karen was facing. But unfortunately, I mean, I think fortunately for him, I mean, I don't think he would have been able to put up the fight that Karen was able to put up.
yeah,
And yeah, I think
yeah.
it would have been very sad to see. And obviously it's sad to
I
see that this
agree.
happened, but I think that she had the strength, resources, and backbone to fight this, and not only once but twice. And I just don't see
Yes.
that in Lucky, having lost his wife,
Oh,
having, grieving. I just don't see that he would have had this fight, or would have been able to uncover
no,
the corruption that Karen and her defense team and Turtle Boy were able to uncover.
that's right. Because this whole thing has branched out and I'm going to say snowballed
Yep.
because we wouldn't know. I remember when I first got into this and I was reading cards and people would write to me and say, "Why doesn't the FBI just step in? Why don't they just step in?" And I would say, "Because they don't do that." They're not emotionally involved.
Right.
They're going to wait because they know the longer they wait, people start getting comfortable and they start screwing up, or they start mouthing off, or they start, whatever the case. And look at everything that has come out now, that
Right.
if the FBI stepped in early, we would never know. Now,
Right.
should we know it? I believe we should know it, because this is all a part of what people are capable of. But you were talking about what had Higgy so charged up that he would act like that. I believe that he kind of knew that it was over with Karen before they went to the other funeral in
Right.
New York that day. And I think the whole idea was that when he confided into Uncle Brian, Uncle Brian saw an opportunity, because I think there was something going on, bad blood between John and the Alberts.
Yeah.
And I think that he saw this manipulative opportunity to say, okay. And I think what happened was he decided to feed that animal, feed that fire. So by the time they had gone to New York and gotten back, Hickey was completely drunk, out of his mind, and ready to confront. Oh, I am so sorry. That was Shaggy Noodle knocking something over. My apologies. I know that was loud, everyone. So sorry. Um, but knowing that there would have been a confrontation, knowing, and I think that at that point it was Chris. Wasn't Chris the one who was trying to hold him back at the
Yes.
waterfall?
Yep.
Chris saw what was happening. Now, I've got to tell you this, on that waterfall tape, I don't care. I am convinced that those band members heard things.
Oh, they did.
And
Absolutely.
why they did not get questioned, I don't know. But it was obvious, especially that one man kind of was like,
Yes.
oh, wow, looking like, oh, let me get away from this. This doesn't look good. And maybe they did question him. Maybe that's a part of this whole thing that we didn't know yet.
Right.
Maybe
I
he
heard
was.
that they were questioned by the FBI. That's what I heard.
Really?
I don't know why the defense, I don't know that they did or didn't, I should say. But there was a rumor again in the community. I'm in the with all
Sure.
the boots on the ground, so you hear things, but it was said that they were questioned by the FBI. Again, I can't confirm, but that the band members did speak with the FBI.
Well, I'm going to ask you, because we're going to have to roll out of here pretty
Yes,
quickly.
no problem.
But I do have a question for you, and it is this. And you're from that area. I love
Yes.
it. And hypothetically, now I'm gonna hit the hypothetical road, because
Yep.
I know everybody
Yep.
loves to say the what ifs.
Right.
If you knew that you witnessed this crime happening with John, if you knew something, how safe would you feel stepping up and going to the authorities that you didn't know who you could trust or who you couldn't trust, or who you didn't know was connected, or who you could, because that's the whole part. Because again, people would say, well, why don't they just go to the police? Well, look who is in the police. Look who's
Right.
in these people. What How comfortable would you have felt stepping up and stepping out of the norm to say, look, I'm not going to put up with this. I've got to find somebody somewhere, knowing that your family's there. You can't quit your jobs. You can't
Right.
move out from under them. You're stuck there. And when the authorities and the FBI and everybody goes home at night, you got to watch your back.
Right. I mean, I will say that I live close. I live about 45 minutes away from Canton, so I am a little bit north of Canton.
Okay.
I think if I had witnessed something, I think I don't think I would be going to the Canton Police Department. I think I would probably start in my hometown, possibly FBI is where I would think that I would take this. I
Mhm.
think early on, I wouldn't have even thought the FBI was involved, so I probably wouldn't have thought of them. But I wouldn't necessarily go to Canton Police Department. Maybe I would have called the district attorney's office to let them know, hey, I witnessed something. Um, I mean, I think the people in Canton don't feel safe calling their own
Yeah,
police department. I mean, I've talked to, you know, Mr. Sweeney, people that live in that town, and they don't feel comfortable. They are very scared that if something goes wrong, that these are the people they're scared. So
yeah,
that I
yeah,
know I can confirm because I've had firsthand information that this is how the residents feel. But I think, I mean, I think again, if you saw something, say something. If you see
yes,
something, say something. And I think that if I myself witnessed something like that, I would definitely not just sit on it and it's not my business, not my family. No, I would definitely
find a way.
find a way to get the information. And I think what happens is in that county, if it has to do with an unaliving, it goes to Norfolk County DA's office, which again, they're in this, but
Right.
I would like to hope and I'm confident that I would pick up the phone and call someone
Hmm.
and let them know what I witnessed.
And because definitely there is a fear there.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I have always said, by seeing Brian Albert sitting there in the first trial across from the jury and giving that very
Oh,
dark, stoic, crazy stare look, that's pretty darn intimidating.
that's very intimidating. And that's what was great about the fact that, I remember when the trial two was happening and people were saying, oh, what do you think about the fact that they didn't call Brian Albert? And I said, in a way, because we know what happened in trial one, I'm like, they're not going to be intimidated if the O'Keefes decide to bring him into the court because he didn't testify. They would not be the jurors wouldn't know any better because they've had a rotating door of people coming in and out of the O'Keefe side. So I thought, wow, like it was almost like a good thing that they didn't call him
Right,
to the stand because nobody saw a picture of Brian Albert. I mean, we saw a video, but a grainy video from the waterfall. They
right.
maybe not have pieced two and two together. So the fact that these, Higgins and Brian Albert wasn't called was actually kind of a blessing because if they
I
were to
think so.
bring him into the courtroom, the jurors wouldn't know any better. They're just another person that
Well,
showed up on that side.
I agree with you. And there for a little while, I was not the popular person because I kept saying, I don't think it's a good idea to call as much as I wanted
Right.
now, but I did not think it was good that they would call Proctor or Brian Higgy or Brian Albert to the stand, only because look what happened with Kelly Dever.
Right.
It could have gone, even though it was very obvious with Kelly Dever. Remember, the prosecution would have had a chance at each one of these people
Right.
because they were not on the side of the defense, and they could have made up a story. They could have lied on the stand,
Right.
and it could have hurt them. And
Right.
I am really glad that they didn't do that. I'm really glad.
Right.
And I was just saying too, it has been a month already that Karen is free.
Right. Right.
And doesn't it seem like it almost seems like forever ago in some
It
ways?
does.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wow. So
Right.
what do you think now before we go? What do you think
Yes.
about Kelly Dever? What is going to happen with Kelly and her garage? Is everybody laughs because I cannot say that. I
Garage.
can't say the garge, like she
So
did.
I think
Focus, yes, focus.
yeah.
It's telling me to focus. I'll try.
So I think her career is over. I think the
Me too.
fact her arrogance on the stand, the way she, and now Commissioner Cox has come out saying that he never had a conversation with her. Totally. So who's lying? Did she make up a false memory of actually being called to his office? Or is the commissioner, lying? So I think her career, and she's a rookie. I believe what she saw and said to the FBI is what she saw. Those
Yeah.
words, wildly long time, are not just something that you would just, she had to think about it, and it obviously struck her, and she gave that information to the FBI. And the only reason, again, why the defense even knew this was from the FBI dump. So keep that in mind, that they only knew
Right.
about Kelly Dever because of the information that they got in the TUI from the FBI. So I think that I don't think she can be trusted. As we know, Alan Jackson sent that letter either she has a mental condition that she's creating false memories, or, you know, she can't be trusted. You can't,
That's right.
you need to put her on the Brady list. So I think that she thought she was doing the right thing by saying it was a false memory, that she was doing the right thing because that's what she was told to do. But I mean, Michael, Commissioner Cox denies even speaking to her and him being in her office. So I think her career as a law enforcement, I think you can't trust her with a weapon. You can't trust anything that her recollection of things. So I think she's totally ruined her career. And was it worth it? Was it worth it? You could have helped get justice for somebody a fellow cop. She is now before she went on leave, she was a Boston police officer. John O'Keefe was a Boston police officer. You could have done the right thing by your brother, who was in the same, working out of the same office as you, and you could have done the right thing and help get him justice. But instead, you wanted to back the people that potentially did this to him, and it's unfortunate, but I think I hope it was worth it for her to ruin her career, because it just doesn't seem, it doesn't seem worth it to me to put your career on the line for what?
Isn't it amazing that she and Sarah Levinson are friends? And after this case, they're both on some type of medical or family leave. And, I think I heard, and I don't know, that Kelly Dever is married to another police officer. And she's probably, my thing with this is that she was a rookie. She probably looked at this and went, "Oh, I received my training. You see something, you say something. This looks suspicious.
Right.
I don't care if it's, this doesn't look good. What and she said something about she knew who Brian Higgins was, but she didn't really know who he was. And then all of a sudden, oh no, he's my friend." She was contradicting herself all over the place.
Right.
And probably what had happened was the fact that she probably went home to her husband, and her husband said, "Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. A plan." See, they made a plan. He probably sold her, "You can't do that. You're going against the guys, and you're going against the blue. Take a look at this, everyone, my darlings. Oh my goodness. You're going against your own. You better not do this." And instead, she comes out, as they say in the wrestling world, she comes out like an egg sucking dog. Right? She looks bad, petty, arrogant, horrible. And I'm going to tell you, Auntie Deb, hello, Auntie Bev. Yeah, I got Jimmy on my brain. Auntie Bev, that I think she was even taken back.
Right.
About her demeanor. No character, no integrity.
No.
Would you like to be stopped by that cow on a traffic stop and not be able to talk to her? I mean, That
And what
would
a coincidence that she goes from Canton to Boston Police Department and gets a big fat raise. How, like, why, like,
yeah, how did that happen?
how did that happen? Any other city? I mean, Boston has a lot of cities. I don't know how many, but there's a lot of them that she
Right.
ends up in the same, as Brian Albert, as, the same one that John
Yep.
O'Keefe worked at from Canton, where it happened. Like, how many more coincidence can we see? And gets a nice, obviously going,
It's a hefty
Canton is
raise.
probably, yeah, it's a hefty raise going,
Just buys a new house that's
yeah,
few hundred thousand, this sort of thing. Well, I don't know. This is not good, and I saw where she needed to be recertified as of July 1st. She's not been recertified yet. So is she on going to be desk duty? What is she going to be? But the thing that got me about this commissioner is that he acted so out of sorts. Like, what Karen Reed case? I'm not even
right.
aware. I mean, and my question is, how could you not be aware? This was one of your people. John O'Keefe
Exactly.
was under your guys. What in the heck is wrong with you?
Right.
But
This
the
wasn't
fact
about
that
Karen Reed. This was about John O'Keefe, who
that's
worked in
exactly
your
right.
department.
That's
Like,
exactly right. Right.
crazy,
That's
crazy. And
exactly right.
this should
It
have been about John O'Keefe. This was not about Karen Reed. This was about John O'Keefe, one of your officers
That's
who
right.
worked 14 years at at Boston Police Department.
It's really, I'm certainly convinced that it's not over, and this is going to have a ripple effect
I
on
believe so.
so many things. And when we start hearing about the civil case, we won't hear too much unless it goes to trial. Then they'll
Right.
probably have something there, but we're not going to hear. Would you love to? Oh, I'm going to have to ask, is Melanie Little in the chat? Because look, we have cupcakes up here,
Cupcake.
everybody. Oh my
Oh,
goodness. We love you, Melanie, if you're
yes.
listening.
I
Um,
could not have gotten through the case, both trials, without listening to her commentary. I
oh, me either.
absolutely, and you know what I love about her too? She stops, she explains to you, and then she lets you rehear it with an explanation that sometimes you're like, what was this? And she has what a mind to remember. This is why they're bringing this up. Like, she links it back, closes a circle, and make sure you understand what's happening on the fly. And I can't get enough of her. I just
I
love her.
I love her. She is going to come on
Oh,
here, and
awesome.
we're going to talk about Annabelle the doll. Melanie is an empath. She is very intelligent, witty, smart, beautiful,
Beautiful.
all those wonderful things.
Yes.
And I can tell you what, I can bet she's very intimidating in the courtroom. Wouldn't you think so? I
I
bet she
bet.
is.
I
I
bet. And
and I
she's
just love
taller
that
than you
about
think. I've
her.
seen her in
Oh,
pictures, and
really?
yes,
I love
she's
that.
very, very tall. Yep.
Nice. Nice. I love that. I love the way she has that ability to explain the law on
Yes.
layman's terms, because there's
Yes.
sometimes it just kind of goes, "Oof," you've got all these little
Yep.
side things, and state to state is different and all that. And I just love that about her. But I'm so thrilled. We're going to get together. I have
That's
emailed her,
awesome.
and she's
She's
just
I love her. And yes, her blue
wonderful.
eyes. Yes, she
Oh
is.
yeah, she is. She's just gorgeous. My goodness, she's just gorgeous. But I just think that who is a liar? Okay, so anyway, um I just think that wait a minute, hold on. What do we got going
Uh-oh.
on in here, my guys? Hmm?
Uh-oh.
Hello? What do we got going? Is there something that I need to be aware of, everybody?
Uh-oh.
Zen, what's going on, my darling? Something going on? I'm looking back to see if there's anything I don't see anything. Let me know if there's something going on. So, okay. Well, anyway,
I think she
I don't
came
know
out of
what
nowhere.
happened, but okay. I don't know what happened, but okay. So, I know we do get trolls in here sometimes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. So anyway,
That's a wrap.
that's a wrap. I tell
Okay.
you what, I am just so happy
Oh, thank
that
you for
you
having
are
me.
here and that you came in and listened. It's our honor that you're here.
Oh, thank
And I
you.
can't and I'm so excited to have DJ and you back and saying
Yes.
hello. And
I will
I
have my
love it.
makeup on. I won't look like a
Oh, I
mess,
think you
but
look, uh-oh, here's a
oops.
cat again. Oh my goodness. But I've got to tell you, you look absolutely gorgeous. Let me take this down.
Thank you.
There.
But I
This-
will
You
definitely
look
look a
absolutely
little better next
stunning.
time.
No, you look stunning, and I'm so glad that you could just come on. There's
Yes,
a
we usually
cat.
have a show Saturday nights, and we just happen to not have a show tonight. So,
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that.
yes, we usually
Even
do
though I
Saturday
listened,
nights.
even
Yes.
though I listened to his, I did not realize. Oh my gosh, that's
So it
horrible.
actually worked out. I was actually hopping in the shower and I put YouTube. I saw that you were on and I was like, oh, I wrote a little comment. And then when you actually said something about, oh, if you'd like to come on, I got out of the shower, threw on my,
Oh,
that's why I have no makeup on.
oh, that's okay. Well, listen, we're definitely going to come back because even though I
Yes.
listened to DJ's message, I
Yes.
must not have listened to it. So I've been
Yes. We
fighting.
just,
Yeah,
we have
I,
availability. So definitely schedule something and we'll
definitely.
be on.
Well, I will
Yes.
work my availability around the both of you
Yes.
because I want you to be able to come on when you've got time because we're
Yes.
both on at the same time. Only I go a little longer than you guys. So,
Right.
and I know that, it's kind of tough sometime with schedules and everything else, but thank you so much for
No
being
problem. Thank you
here.
for having me. It's
Lovely,
been great.
darling.
And
My
thank you to the
goodness.
chat and mods.
Oh,
And make sure you
yes.
like and subscribe because Lady
Oh,
Zelda is just
gosh.
amazing.
Oh, well, no, listen, you guys are, you, I can't wait. When I have both you and DJ on, I want to hear the cab story because I don't know
Yes.
that one. I
Yes.
want to hear the cab story and I want to hear what brought that calling all beings and all of that good stuff. That's what I
Yes.
want. I know we all
Yes.
want to hear that.
We do have a funny story to
Do you
share how
good?
DJ and I met. So I think you're
Oh, I
gonna
know we're
laugh.
gonna love that. I know we're gonna love that one. So, well, we're
Yeah.
gonna say good night to you, my
Yes. Good
darling.
night.
I'm gonna
Thank you,
say good night to
everyone.
much love to
Yes.
you guys.
Have a
All
good
right, my
one.
darling.
Thank you.
Thank you very
See you
much and
soon.
have a good evening, my darling, and I'll see you
You too.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. Wasn't that a treat? Wasn't that just a treat? We are so lucky. And DJ left me a voice message and I listened, but I thought it was another night. Anyway, that's on me. We're going to bring him on. And I'll tell you what, I'm just thrilled that she came in. She is so awesome, so knowledgeable about all of these cases, so knowledgeable about everything. I just love it. I just love it. Anytime that they want to come on. Now, I have a few other little chats and good things here in here that I want to say hello to. Where did I leave off? Where did I leave off? Okay. Roxy, my darling, says when Yellowstone erupts, the ash will go north of Calgary to the west coast, down to Albuquerque and to Chicago. There's something definitely there brewing, so please watch the animals, my darlings. And Heather, thank you so much for being here and for your membership. Thank you, thank you. I don't know if we met our goal. Let me see. I'm going to see here. 9 out of 30. Well, you know what? It's okay. I just appreciate all of you so much anyway. It's fine. And then we have Auntie BB, AJ, how he would be back in a month. It's a month. Yeah. I feel that I think he's back now. I think he would have been back a couple or 3 days ago I got from the cards. But, we're not going to know all that because I love how they are a little stealth about all this. So, you know what? 007 was that not interesting? How the EVP followed our conversations and was kind of chiming in. I just thought that was very interesting, wasn't it? We're going to do this again. We're going to do this again and go from there. And okay, so I don't know. I don't know if anything happened in the chat or not, but okay, well, yes or no. So it doesn't make any difference. It looks like you guys have handled it. Let me see. We've got that there. Thank you so much. Standing Stones, love and light. Zelda, glad you feel better. Will you, darling? Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do have a new email address. So if you need anything, Jerry can give you the email address, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And let me see. We got 9 on this side and 7 on the other side channel. Very good. Congratulations to us and to all of you. Now, tomorrow at 2 p.m. at True Oracle, my darlings, especially the blue, right? That was amazing that came up. That's right. At 2 p.m. Eastern, that is New York time, that we have Shag. You see this tail. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I will be here reading your cards. So get ready. Get your question. We'll talk about the ideas, rules, all that good stuff when the time comes tomorrow. I will put out a link tomorrow morning. Don't forget the vampire link in the description of this and in Fate and Fortune with True Oracle, because that is an absolute awesome channel, as well as the other ones are too. So I want you to just hang in there. So thank you so much. I'm going to see you all tomorrow. You guys are very, very great. Much love to you. Dorian Vex, he's going to be our channel mascot. If you go over there and take a look at Dorian Vex, hello. Oh my gosh. And I can't say, once again, I can't say that I'd be a cougar, because I think Dorian Vex I was told by the creator, was born in the 1500s. So I don't know, you guys. He might be a little old for me. What do you think? So that's kind of funny. But yes, Dorian Vex. And hello. Unfortunately, honey, I cannot do medical, because I can't talk about that, or legal, or I can't do pregnancy questions. But I can maybe read your energy a little bit. So if you've got a question in that. So there you go. Reminded me of Bill. Woofy. Yes. Okay. Kristen has got my attention because she knows these things, obviously. And it's encouraging because you never know. There's no age limit within the vampire realm. Well, I guess there's hope for me then. Isn't that funny? That is so funny. You guys, listen. You guys are a stitch. Jerry says, another great show, Lady Zelda and Shaggy. Absolutely. He's my mascot sitting here. Now, I want to talk to you about the rice jars. Rice jars, you can put them out during a Mercury retrograde. And I got to tell you this, my darlings, right? The manifestations are coming out of the woodwork. And I feel like I have to sneeze. Pardon me. Oh my gosh, I couldn't help it. I couldn't even have time to. Isn't that crazy? There you go. So please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. The rice jar. Now, you see that little line there? My money keeps coming to the surface that I have in here. Let me see if I can show it to you in a way where you can see it. I think you can see it right here. Oh, hello. Right here. Oh, hello. Where are you? Right here. You can see it good right here. Money, thank you, my darlings. Money will come to Gesundheit, Frau Krankheit. That's the saying. Gesundheit, Frau Krankheit. That means God bless you, Mr. or Mrs. Sickness, and die Deutsch. What is your natal Mercury in retrograde? Well, let me say this. This rice jar and Mercury retrograde, it actually helps because Mercury has us slow down to the point where we can start thinking about things. Should I have this? Should I not? Should I take this? Should I not? All of those great things. There you go. And okay, so Grandmere, my darling, bought the pamphlet on the rice jar. Very handy. You're welcome. If you would like to go over there to shop, let me put that banner up here because I made a rice jar pamphlet. It is in the shop. And you can go over there right now and download it right now immediately. Find out everything there is to find out about a rice jar and what to do. And I can tell you, the young lady that was in here, I call her my little niece. She is adorable. They just got a house that she said it was just literally wild how that she explained it to me, and I don't want to do that without her in here and having her permission, but let me just tell you this. It was so amazing and out of bounds. I would have never guessed, seriously, I would have never guessed that is something that would have happened with this rice jar. And she's been doing it. And Manifestation Monday, we're going to have Manifestation Monday on Monday night at 7. So thank you so much, everyone. So do me a favor. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to be going over to True Oracle tomorrow and seeing each and every one of you. I can't wait. I want to thank you so much for being here. So my darlings, hang out for our little outro. You can say goodbye to everybody. And somebody asked me, why does it take you so long to come in? It's because I see everybody coming in and greeting everybody and saying hello. And I think it's wonderful that each one of you are doing that. So I'm doing good. All is well. And I'm going to see you all tomorrow. So you have a good evening. Have something good to eat. And we'll see you soon. Okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time tonight. Because tomorrow, rest up. Tomorrow, your cards are going to be read. Thanks so much, my darlings. And I'll see you soon. I think I have a date with Dorian Fex. Bye. They'll tell you the facts are clear, but the truth always flickers between the lines. In every shadow, there's a secret that refuses to stay buried. Clues hide in symbols, and sometimes even fate won't show its hand. Voices echo not just from the living, but from the silence they leave behind. I'm Lady Zelda. This is Seeing Crime, where what's hidden doesn't stay hidden for long. Until next time, keep watching.